And like my dog likes to say, a very good morrow to you on March 12th, 2026. Hopefully you're doing well. Back, did Twitch yesterday, doing YouTube today, doing, just me and my baldingness. I ain't gonna put on no hat. I ain't insecure that I'm balding. Shit happens, man. I can't control it. If I could control it, I would have fucking long wavy hair. Like fucking Fabian. Or no, Fabio. Is that what it? Hang on. From romance novels. Yeah. Fabio Lanzani. He's fucking big. He's buff. He's got the long flowing hair. Let's face it, if any, like, I'm not flying to Turkey anytime soon to get my ass hair plucked out and stuck on top of my head. That's not fucking happening. Wouldn't that be awkward? That'd be, look on the plane, all those poor guys. Feel for him, I do. I really do. Oh. Turn that a little bit. You know what, maybe we will. Alrighty, I've been kind of already listening to it, so I'm a little ways in, as you can see. I think it's been pretty good so far. I've been enjoying this Hutch arc. I think it's been good. I think it's been interesting. I think it's been fascinating. On one hand of me, I respect the hell out of Hutch for the barrage of shit that he has gotten, because let's face it, it's a barrage of shit, and how much he has stuck to his principles. I think that's commendable. I think that's fucking awesome. Because I do think at the end of the day that you have to be careful that you are going to become what you set out to do, right? And I can see from Hutch's point of view that, okay, I understand the norms are broken. Let's say that I say we, it's not we, thankfully. The Americans, the other side of the American aisle, decides that they're just going to start breaking other norms. You don't know what chaotic nature is going to be unleashed by doing so. Totally true. Totally correct. Totally the right way to look at it. However, I think from a lot of people's standpoint, it's the norms have already been broken. Why don't you use the norms that have been broken? But I think from where Hutch is trying to come from is just because the norms are broken doesn't mean that you need to further validate that those norms are broken. And in fact, if you ignore that those norms are broken and instead push on doing things like those norms are still in place, it's probably with the hope and the idea that you're just reinforcing the norms that you want to be there, instead of basically saying, okay, let's trash the norms, let's throw them in the garbage, we're going to do the things that you were doing, and then we'll put them back after. And it's like, well, hang on, somebody's crashed into the guardrails. You're like, oh, you've already wrecked the guardrails. Why don't we just get rid of the guardrails? And it's like, well, hang on, slow down. The guardrails are there for a reason, and they were working for a reason. And we should continue to want those guardrails in place. So I understand. I'm hoping I'm understanding Hutch's position. And I would argue for a lot of the stuff that's kind of like, I hear a lot of people, well, we need to lock up Trump. We need to lock up Trump. We need to charge him. We need to charge him. He's already been charged. The question is, why wasn't he held accountable before? Why was he even allowed to get to this point? And I think that's the far harder question, but the thing that's far more important is you could charge the dude all day long if you wanted, but if nothing's actually going to hold him accountable, what's the point of charging him, right? If you have somebody who's, it's kind of like shoplifting, honestly. If you're constantly arresting somebody for shoplifting, but every time they go in front of the judge to be held accountable for that shoplifting, they're just let out of jail, or there's no punishment served, why would they ever not shoplift again? What's stopping them from shoplifting? Nothing, right? Because they're just going to get away with it. So the question isn't, so we wouldn't look in that instance and go, I need to make a new law that if you're shoplifting with jeans on, you're going to get 3 years, 3 years in the hole, when the law is if you're shoplifting, you get 3 years in the hole, right? It's not exactly what it is, the punishment, but the one-to-one comparison I'm trying to make is you don't need a new law. You just need to enforce the laws that you have. And I mean, I think the judge that didn't sentence Trump because he could become president, I think that was the failure in the system right there that led to all the other shit. It's the linchpin, right? Because when you've realistically, for any other person, like you could never go to a judge and be like, Mr. Judge, I'm getting a new job at this firm. It's really important. I can't have you sentence me. And they would just look at you and laugh. Well, you shouldn't have broke the law, asshole, type deal with fucking, Jim Carrey swearing at you. But in this instance, it wasn't the case, and I think that was a really big failure. So it's just your enforcement mechanisms need to be reshored up, and people need to be comfortable with enforcing those already made laws instead of trying to come up with new ones or stuff like that. But I've been enjoying this conversation anyways, and I mean, it's a good filler while I tinker away at My Little Rocket, because that's what we are, right? We're content leeches. We don't make our own shit. That's stupid. That takes work, effort. That's just dumb. Who's gonna do that? Gross. Cringe. Always just gonna... We're gonna take from the rich and give to the needy. Well, shit, we're needy. All right, let's get this show on the road.
His case to like 60 different courts. They all laughed him out of court, So
yeah, and people are gonna think it's anchoring. That's the whole thing. They need the public behind them, and also that would be unprecedented to say all of these elections.
Do you think the public's gonna get behind him?
Them.
Do you think the public's gonna get behind him?
It doesn't matter. He has the DOJ. Like literally, it's his DOJ.
He had DOJ
right?
in 2020.
Not like he has now.
Well, I mean, I take your point. I mean, Bondi will be more, I think, compliant than Trump, but they're gonna be like
that's the way of putting it.
They're gonna be challenged in the courts if they tried to do this, and they're not gonna.
They might be challenged in the blue districts or in the blue.
No,
states.
they'll be challenged all over the fucking country. They'll be challenged in every single. Yes, of course. They were challenged in red. They were challenged in red states in 2020. You don't have to be. Anybody can sue. Anybody can sue from the state of Arizona.
Let me ask you a hypothetical here, okay?
Oh.
Let's say, hypothetically, that the last election was stolen. Trump, which state could he have won? Was it Georgia or Pennsylvania?
He would have had to have won a few different states.
Oh, then
is there one that he could have won?
Okay.
No.
Say California.
He would have had.
Yeah.
I thought those were going up there.
I don't know. Yeah.
Never mind. I'm going to go back and fix this.
Okay. They're hypothetical, so it doesn't matter. Let's say that 10 months in to Joe Biden's term, he finally gets through all the court progress, and you know what? He actually did win California. What do you think is going to happen?
I have no idea. I mean, that would be like a straight up very novel constitutional crisis.
Is there any historical things that you can look to, like Bush v. Gore, on what happens?
Well, you wouldn't redo the election, right?
You wouldn't redo the election.
Yeah. Okay. What are you saying here?
I'm saying that
no, Pupper's not into the loader.
Enough for the win. He doesn't have to survive the.
I will say I personally like the idea of being able to recall politicians that you think aren't doing a good job. I'm actually super frustrated that a lot of recall stuff isn't really necessarily passing in Alberta. I'm sure I haven't really looked into it. Maybe we'll watch some stuff on it today. Because I'd be curious to know why it's failing. Is it just there's not an appetite for it? Is it just not feasible? Like, what is it that is causing that portion or that ability not to go through? Because I think I'm actually a little surprised that the founding fathers in the States didn't have something in place that would allow you to recall a president or, you know, do another election if, you know, a certain percentage of the population wanted one. But then again, that'd be a tough one because all your stuff's done by electoral college. So would it be, or yeah, I don't know how that would work. It's just interesting that it's not in place already, but because I like the idea of being able to recall stuff. Okay. Move these back.
Legal claim in the end. He already denies reality for everything that he said.
No, it was the courts that were the final arbiter of 2000. He would have to go through the courts if he wants to do these kinds of challenges, and the courts are not going to back him on this. Not even the red judges. Well, nobody backed him on this. Like, he took his case to like 60 different fucking courts, man. He got laughed out at every fucking court.
Do you feel like Eileen Cannon, who was a judge, do you think that she acted fairly and reasonably with the handling of Trump's case?
No, of course not. But like, she would have been subject to the same kind of like appeals that any other judge would be. And so, you know, she tossed out that court case, and she used Clarence Thomas's like comments about special counsels being illegal. I mean, if Donald Trump hadn't won, then that would have been challenged, and she would have lost that challenge. They would have gone to a higher court and tried the case there. Or they would have found a different judge.
Oh, early in the conversation, and I would like for Dan to bring it back up, is this idea that tradition is holding us back in a lot of ways. Because I understand that, like, precedental law is important because it kind of sets the framework and the groundwork for how we're going to look at the law kind of moving forward. You know, this ruling was kind of made, you know, this is how we're going to make other rulings in the future. This is how we're going to interpret the law. Totally understand all that. But in some ways, it's also really frustrating that some people can get away with bad actions because the law hasn't been ruled in a way that would hold them accountable. Whereas if there was other rulings, it would have probably held them accountable. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I know there's instances of this. Okay, we're going to bring the steel cables up, but I'm not going to use them yet because I want to do... For some reason, my motors, my bearings just they're too slow. So you did. It wasn't much. The first comment outside of Pars was somebody being like, "Why are you bald and take a shower?" Unironically. It was like, "Oh, good, nice healthy, thriving ecosystem of well-adjusted people." Not to say YouTube's not unhinged. I'm not saying that at all. Absolutely unhinged. But it was just funny that, like, first day back, and that was the comments I got. So it was pretty funny. Yeah, it was like, "Oh, I fucking bald and you're glistening." It's like, first, I thank you. I'm bald. Yes, every part of my hair is missing. Anywhere I point the camera at my head, at my face, is going to look like I'm fucking balding. Yes, thank you. And then on top of that, I just taken a shower. Of course I'm fucking glistening. Glowing, in fact. Okay? Like a pregnant woman. I'm fucking glowing. It was just really funny. And then they were like, no. I'm not a bully. I just have autism. And it's like, okay. You don't just get to be like... You don't just get to be an asshole. And then be like, no, it's okay, I'm an asshole. I have the tisms. Like, what? So it was pretty fucking funny, honestly. It just blows me away. I can understand, you know, it makes sense now that Twitch viewers don't go outside because, boy, could you imagine going up to somebody on the street? Just some random person, never met them, first interaction with them. Hey, you have a fucking bald spot. And you're glistening a little bit. Like, I don't know, that's almost a certified way to get punched in the fucking mouth, in my opinion. So we need more. But then again, I get these people don't go outside, so I mean, what is the... You can't... you can't explain to people that don't understand, and it's not the autism. I'm sorry. There's no way that, you know, I've been around enough people with autism, and because it's not just well, I have autism, so I'm blunt. And it's like, well, first off, nobody asked your fucking opinion, so I don't know why the fuck you'd even think like that anybody wants it. And B, you don't have to comment on people's appearances as your first fucking comment. I think that's the weirdest part. I truly do live in some ways the woman experience, because I also got told to smile more. And it's like, motherfucker, I'll smile as much as I fucking damn well please, or don't please. If I don't want to smile, I'll stream and just sit here fucking cranky. I will. Okay, my fucking face muscles are hurt at the end of the day, but I'll do what I fucking want. But I do what I want. Come on, bearings, faster. Why are you so slow? You know what? Okay, that's being metal plated. That's full. Let's go like this. Come up here like that. So yeah, it was good. It was an okay stream. I think we streamed for 2 hours yesterday. I mean, might have already got banned off of there because I called the guy a cunt, but you know, it is what it is. We're gonna try to cut down on the swearing a little bit. I can't stand bullies. I can't. I've come to realize that about myself. I just fundamentally, those fucking people need to be excised from our fucking society. Because that's all it is at the end of the day, is fucking bullying. And it can be taken as any libtoast fucking soft soy boy cuck shit. But either way, it's fucking disgusting. I think the funniest part still is just, it's okay, I have tisms. It's like, wait, what? Why have our circuit board stopped? Oh, I bet you we need more copper wire. Oh, this is pretty funny. I need to work on the plugin to get both. But then I didn't know if Dan Saltman is banned on Twitch. And Twitch seems to be a lot more sensitive with watching content on their platform than YouTube does. So I could sit here and watch probably a lot more stuff on YouTube than I could on Twitch. Not to say I won't get, shit won't get kind of flagged on YouTube, but I think it feels different, feels different. Ooh, what do you got? You got some stuff? Got some stuffums? Keep one of those. Is it keeping every second item, or is it only overflow? Yeah, it's only over. How much is there? 12. Okay, that'll fill up here in a little bit. Oh, can you? No, I didn't know that. About time. That was honest to God, that was the stupidest rule they ever had in place. You can't watch banned streamers. Why? They're not on the fucking platform. That's so stupid. I'm glad they changed that. That is good. I'm glad they changed that. They have like that's the thing. If Twitch could take YouTube's algorithm, or YouTube could take Twitch's chat, and they could fucking mesh them together, it would be the perfect platform. It would. It'd be a great fucking platform. Because then the algo, you could use the words. It could kind of, as people are scrolling through a feed, it could kind of hit them with stuff. But then you'd have all like the emotes and the moderation things. Because that's the other thing, is like you go into Twitch's creator backend shit, and holy fuck, there is like choices upon choices upon choice. Like you can make like set your shit that you're gonna swear a lot, and then it'll let people know. You can set it for the ad stuff is pretty cool. I like the being able to add people as moderation stuff really easily. Like it's all, the user interface for it is really good, and I really like it. But YouTube just slaps differently, and I don't know if I can quite put it into words what I feel differently about it, but it is there in my mind. It's in my mind. I should probably check my Discord for whatever you sent me. And I hope you're having a great day, Ice Beans. You know, we always are here. I'm actually doing pretty well. I got some pottery tonight, which will be fun. It's my last two classes, so I'm just I'm getting ready to fucking glaze them. Okay, like fucking AI glazes me. Holy shit, we almost 100,000. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Oh, we could even pump out a second one there. You are gonna make bearings, my little friend. And this little arm. I'm gonna go right. Yeah. A, B. Every second item. There. There, hopefully that's enough bearings now. Jesus, I got 4 of them fucking making bearings. Oh, how full did that thing get? Before it had a chance to shut off. Oh, it's got lots. I think that sucker's full. Yep. Okay, we're good. It'll run for a while before I have to come and address it. Hopefully we'll increase that motor production. Yeah, it already seems like it. Fuck, that's so slow. You know what? We're gonna throw... I have another crane? I do. We're gonna throw another crane right here. Okay, whoops. Too much power. Whoopsies. Shut the whole thing down. My bad. My bad. Oh my god, do we have another windmill? We don't. Oh my god, I'm still 1 short. Damn it. Oh, there's the gears. Yeah, we were just watching Dan and Hutch go at it. I've been kind of... It's like one of those... I'm enjoying watching and listening to, but I don't have... Like, I feel bad. I don't have a quote-unquote ton of input, but we're going to watch a little bit of it still. Probably not the whole thing. Another 2 hours. Fuck. I'd probably listen to it cleaning or something like that. And then I would like to flip to some Canadian news. Just kind of see what's going on. Get the... You know, hit up CBC or something like that. Listen to that for a little bit, and then we'll... kind of go from there. No, don't you dare pass out. You lose like fucking half a day when your character goes to sleep. God, I can't believe how many birds I'm killing with this windmill farm. Well, it was enough to keep everything going, so. Oh my god, we just need to check it out. Much better. 2 at a time. Yeah. Not even do no, because I can't do a third one. Oh, I guess I could. I could put a third one right here, but it's only pushing every second one. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a good rhythm. Shoom. Shoom. Shoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're at a position where we have witnessed, and we are witnessing, Trump completely having no respect at all for the law on every front.
Motherfucker, he's never had respect for the law. Like, if that part isn't clear now, I don't know when that's gonna be fucking clear. He's never had respect for the law. What the fuck are you talking about?
The annulments clause, he's making tons of money. Crypto coins, just going wild, scamming people, selling Trump watches. These are things that are just not allowed.
I understand that, but even he's limited. Dan, even he's limited.
How is he limited on that one?
Not on that one. I don't know about that. I bet like meme coin stuff, but
no,
like
Hutch
for example,
Hutch is gonna
just
be
like snap his fingers and make the Save Act happen. He has to go through Congress.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say Hutch is gonna say he's limited in certain things he can pass.
Stopped a number of his policies. Like it's already happened like several times during this presidency, and he's complied with the Supreme Court rulings. And so, you know, this idea that like, well, he can just literally do whatever he wants, therefore he's going to steal the midterms. Like, I'm not going to tell you he's not going to try some fuckery. I think he's a fucking corrupt piece of shit. I think he will.
This is what I want you to. This is like the whole point of what I'm saying here is.
That's an unnecessary component.
Like earlier when I asked you on the lever, what would you rather have? The 2 cops being found guilty or the 3-year immediate effect of that happening? I don't care if we eventually win the midterms, because after 2 years of litigating it, I care if we actually get in power after the midterm.
And you're not gonna dissuade Donald Trump from being corrupt, bro. There's nothing you can do. Yeah.
Correct. But who can you dissuade?
I don't even think you can dissuade his underlings.
Well, I think we would have to start trying.
See, that's not good. That's not good. Because if you admit that you can't dissuade people from being corrupt, what's your justice system for? What's it doing? If not, like the justice system, realistically, at the end of the day, should be a tool of dissuasion from doing things that are against the law. That should be its fucking job. You know, you should not want to steal that car, not necessarily because it's, you know, the wrong thing to do, although I would argue that should be why you're not doing it. But it should be because you're gonna get caught and you're gonna suffer some sort of consequence for doing that. If nobody ever thought they were ever gonna be arrested for stealing a car, man, people would be out here stealing cars like it's fucking Grand Theft Auto tomorrow, the next day, because that's just how humans work. I mean, one of the most frustrating things about going through the accounting course was trying to understand why the fuck we were doing things that in other instances, it was almost like you do something for it to be canceled out in another way, but the reason that you were doing it was purely based off incentivizing people with the stage one so that you could do something in the middle and they could still reap the benefits. Like, it was that's just how it was. And a lot of the things that are set up in the counting, and sometimes the way that things are counted or done, or, you know, especially with like the stocks and the bonds and things like that for companies, the way they're earmarked. The thing specifically that I'm thinking about is when you do a bond, if you do it in like the middle of the bond period for a company, you can do it where they give you, the person purchasing the bond will give you like the cost of the bond plus some interest up front, even though they're going to get that interest at a later time. It was very weird. And it's literally just to incentivize people. You know, that's why there's subsidies and stuff. It's in the hopes of incentivizing people to do something that they wouldn't otherwise do. And that's just kind of how our justice system works. So if you recognize that we can't incentivize people not to be corrupt, that's a pretty scary spot for that, I would say anyways, that your country is in. Like that should really worry you.
To see if we can.
Well, we have this thing called the supremacy clause, which makes it really difficult and complicated for the state level get off the fucking prosecutors belt, to target this administration and people that staff the agencies.
Get off the belt, goddammit.
It just is what it is.
We have other legal things saying we're not allowed to go fucking yoink presidents from other countries, but you know we found a way.
We do it anyways.
You keep doing the thing. You doing the president has so much more power than state level officials. He can't.
Yeah, the president is like a governor of the country.
No. He has way more power than the governors at the state level. So he does get to just do a lot of stuff, and a lot of that stuff is then challenged in the courts, and it takes a while for these challenges to actually play through. But this idea that like Democrats, you are taking the logic, you are taking the view that, you know, number one, you're saying Donald Trump can do literally whatever he wants. That's not true, but you're using this premise to say, well, the Democrats can just do whatever they want to do at the state level. And this is just like,
I think the problem is it's not necessarily that he can do whatever he wants, is that it's been a slow trickle of certain things that he's wanted. That the question then becomes, if it's a slow trickle here, why wouldn't it become a slow trickle elsewhere? Oh, damn, it's just gonna start. I'm gonna have to start actually building something with these motors, or else it's just gonna keep dragging them off, which isn't necessarily wrong. I do need to deliver them elsewhere. Because I think that's the thing too, is like, yeah, he hasn't gotten away with everything and he still needs, you know, quote unquote Congress to do things, but what happens if all of a sudden one day he decides, you know what, maybe I don't need Congress. Maybe I can just do what I want. Like what guardrail, like the thing is like for, you know, Supreme Court rulings and stuff, the question really would be who's going to enforce Trump not following a Supreme Court ruling. Is the Supreme Court going to hold him accountable? I don't think it does that in the States. Is Congress going to hold them accountable? They don't seem interested in that. Can the police hold him accountable? I don't know how that would work. Like, is it jurisdictional? Is it, is there, could the military police hold him accountable because he's in the, the commander in chief? The question is exactly the very scary answer to that is no one at this point, because anybody that has the ability to hold him accountable hasn't done so yet. So why are we thinking all of a sudden that there's going to be this level of accountability or a level of enforcement really that's just not there? Where is it coming from? Yeah, and that's the issue with law, right? Is if all the actors in play aren't acting in good faith and there's no enforcement mechanism, the law is pointless. There's no point in having written law, because at that point it's just anarchy and you get to follow whatever you feel like at the time and whatever you can get away with. Yes, I mean, realistically, you go to get charged with something now and the judge goes to sentence you, be like, whoa, hang on, sir. I have what is to me a very important job opportunity coming up. I don't think you should sentence me because it's going to ruin my chances of getting that job. Well, we can't do that. You're going to get sentenced anyways. Excuse me, sir. There has been precedent set that, if somebody is, vying for a position, that we find important enough in society, I don't have to be sentenced. And then the question becomes, well, what's important enough? Like, it is. And the only reason, realistically, chaos like that hasn't ensued is because other people realize that what I'm saying is functionally insane. Like, that is legitimately insane, what I've just said. And any rational person knows it's insane. So, what are you gonna do?
Really silly logic to me. I
think that state governments have enormous power to do things and tell the federal government to pound sand. This is almost like a classic scene from every movie that we've ever seen where some dude kills a guy and all of a sudden 4 different divisions come in. Like, it's the FBI, it's the NSA, it's the state,
No, Georgia, I've got jurisdiction. No, I've got jurisdiction.
It's the local cops. It's the local cops. And they're all like, I'm in charge. No, I'm in charge. But that has to get sorted, and it's not instant. And that was Dan's other point, is like, courts are slow. You should be trying to weigh down the Trump administration with as much minutia as you possibly can, because they've tried to weigh other parts of the government down with minutia while they do horrible things. I kind of agree with that. I think that is a fair tactic, that it's like, okay, you want to engage in putting things through the court while you do the terrible things. Fuck it. We're gonna do the things to you, and you can battle it out with the courts type deal. I think it is an interesting perspective. We need to build more level 2 power pools, get rid of some of these iron plates and heat sinks. No, I win. I'm bigger. It doesn't work that way.
I got bigger cock. I fucking win.
This is straight from the AG's
Big
mouth.
dick
they
energy.
Can just take that court case and put it in a federal court, and at that point they would just toss it out.
No, they could try, and then there could be appeals, and then they could do the same type of bullshit that Trump is doing.
You're just assuming this, though, Dan. You're just assuming this.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not, because I've seen illegal shit.
Dan, you're doing the thing.
The illegal things that have been.
I will say this is apparently I have a lot to say. I fucking showed me up, didn't I? This is the problem with dealing with bullies. Realistically, at the end of the day, when you're a kid and you're dealing with people that are doing bad shit to you, and they're just like, oh, just tell somebody, they'll deal with it. Tell the teacher, they'll fucking deal with it. They'll deal with it. They'll deal with it. And you use the system, you use the system, you use the system, you use the system. Like, you're using it as intended. But you're not getting any result. Damn, this one goes fucking far. And you're not getting any results. Eventually, that fucking child snaps and punches somebody in the fucking face. And then people are like, whoa, why did you punch that other kid in the face? It's like, well, because he was bullying me. Well, why didn't you talk to a teacher? It's like, motherfucker, I've talked to teachers all the time. Like, I've worked within the bounds of the system and tried to do things that are, legitimate in ways that weren't weren't violent. But I was met with resistance on every end. Like, how would you expect me to respond when no level of accountability was being engaged in, right? And then people look, oh, I can't believe you punched so and so in the face. It's like, fuck that. He's lucky he didn't get punched in the face sooner. Like, fact I held off as long as I did just kind of, speaks to my character more than it speaks to what I did. But
done by state prosecutors over time. Especially when it comes to immigrants, especially when it comes to prisoners that have been abused by the prison system trying to get cases, and the state is able to drag their heels even when they're trying to get the federal government in, and all of a sudden the federal government wants to get in because it wants to do something, and guess what? They're able to block it, and they're telling the federal government to pound sand, and they have to go and spend a lot of time. And guess what? It's not instant. It's not instant.
Okay.
It takes time.
Have you ever heard of something called the Green Lantern theory of
politics? Oh my god, he
Dan?
is all about this.
No.
Okay. It's a theory that came up, I think Matty Iglesias came up with it, but then Ezra Klein wrote an article in 2014, and it is basically the idea that a lot of people in the country assume that when you win power, this is in the context of like presidential elections, but you could apply it in the way that you're doing now. Like if you win power, if you become the mayor, if you become the governor, if you become the president, you can just do whatever you want. It's just a matter of creativity. You either got to be charismatic enough or you got to be forceful enough. But
I mean, that is I understand that. I get by saying it as like you're trying to impress on people that there's limitations to what you can do, and you have to work in the confines, and you're going to have limitations, and it's okay. You're not going to get some things done because you can't, because there's just not pathways to doing so. But I hate this analogy because I understand the Green Lantern power was one, if you could think it, you could build it with the ring. But I think the thing is like when you have the ring and you aren't willing to try, right? Why have the power at all if you aren't willing to do things that are maybe a little esoteric, maybe a little out there, maybe not the conventional way that you would do things, but still try to effectuate a certain level of change that might not otherwise be there. Like I'd be very doubtful that, well, I don't know, maybe not, maybe it is, maybe there is a segment of people that are like, I don't care, just throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks. Which I can understand that sentiment too. Okay, that sucker is full. But I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. Especially when you have the power. Why wouldn't you? Right? Why wouldn't you try anything to see what sticks, even if it gets struck down? Who cares? Because if this administration's whole thing is they're just going to do whatever, they're going to throw whatever shit at the wall to see what sticks, to enact whatever level of chaos they want, why wouldn't you not even necessarily do something similar, but do something of do something of equal caliber for a more righteous thing? Like why not?
You can basically do anything. But that's what you're doing. You're doing that with Democrats, though. You're just assuming. You're operating with the assumption that everything that you're proposing is possible. You just got to get creative about it, and you're not acknowledging that the system has checks that prevent Democrats from doing a lot.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's the whole point of what's been going on with the Trump admin is like, oh well, shit. Maybe you can try really esoteric, really out there things. They're going to get struck down by the courts, but until you do them, you don't know. And then I mean, in some instances, it's allowed the American system kind of to see where its ditches are. But in another instance, it has kind of opened the doors that if Dems want to try or interpret laws in certain ways to try and do things, why shouldn't they try to push it through the court? Why shouldn't they do that?
A lot of the stuff that you guys are proposing.
I agree that there are checks, and I think that we've seen those checks fail people time and time again. And I gave examples of like prisoners that are trying to bring cases against state officials with the backing of the federal government with what is that crime, civil rights violations, and we're seeing states going all out to block that type of thing in situations along those lines. So I don't sign on that it's instant and nothing can happen. I sign on that states have a tremendous amount of power to delay, to come up with novel arguments of why they can do the things that they can do, and I think that those are a positive benefit to have happen for just patently
one kind of one-to-one comparison. I really like that the First Nations people have already put forth lawsuits and things when it comes to Alberta separation things. I think that's good. I think that slows down the, abhorrent idea that Alberta can just separate from Canada. I think that's good. I think it throws a wrench in the whole, the whole fucking machine. I think if there's and it doesn't even necessarily have to accomplish a goal of stopping independence. That's not what the point is. The point is I think this is going to be able to stop this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. I'm going to put it out there. If it works, great. If not, well, then we try a different avenue, like the keep trying. But I think the sometimes the frustrating thing about politics, especially, and I understand because you only have, realistically, let's face it, at the end of the day, whatever Dem gets in, it's probably only going to be 2 years max, right? Like shit just flip flops in the States so fucking hard, and it's just getting harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. That you want to put all your time and resources into things that are going to effectuate an actual outcome that is positive. So I understand that kind of perspective, that you don't want to spend all your time throwing shit at the wall and not have anything stick. Excuse me. I totally get that. But I think in the same instance is when you're talking norms and traditions and things like that, if you only ever try traditional or maybe not like new creative ways to doing things, you won't actually get anywhere either. I think it's a combination of knowing what works and trying something that's a little bit out there or a little bit unexpected that achieves true innovation, true results, and a truly positive product that makes people feel better. I know Hutch has talked a lot about how a lot of people are, registering as independents in the States, and that makes him, kind of see as like, there's not really an appetite for what the Dems are doing in the States. But I would argue that I'm sure a lot of people are, registering as independents in the States because they don't feel like the Dems are doing anything. And I actually think if there was a candidate that came forward and was ready to do the unconventional things that a lot of the Destinies and the Dans are kind of proposing and shit like that, maybe there would be more of an appetite for people to be voting for a Democrat that is trying to hold this administration accountable. Like these are all abstract thoughts, because at the end of the day, you don't know what you're doing, what chaos or what order it's going to gonna create. So I understand the caution about being wary about creating so much chaos that you allow the neutron star that is the American project to collapse in on itself.
Insane behavior from a corrupt administration. And I think that not trying is a sign of weakness, and that
I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel like that way.
But you sound like the fucking lefties that got mad at Biden for not getting like a public option done because he didn't have the fucking votes in Congress. I've had so many arguments with lefties who make the case, well, you should have just tried anyways. I don't understand the logic.
I hate hearing that sometimes. I really do. I hate hearing, oh, well, you sound like this. Can you just acknowledge what I'm saying and ignore what other people have said? Because what it makes me think is you're not hearing me. No, it's Jesse now. Jesse Christ. That you're not hearing me, and all you're waiting to do is hear a response because you've heard something that's triggered a response in your brain instead of actually hearing what I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't matter what the most unhinged person has said about something. You should be able to listen to me and hear what I'm saying about this topic without pushing back to another area. And yeah, that frustrates me sometimes. So
Biden, in the case of Biden, he to get a public option, he would have needed fucking 60 votes or enough votes to get rid of the filibuster, and he never had those votes, so he didn't waste his time.
This is a totally different, completely disanalogous situation.
Wow.
Okay.
Is it though?
Trump or Biden doesn't have votes to pass a bill. That's different. An attorney general can not care about votes. They can only care about jurors and the way that they're going to vote, and that's it.
But attorney generals, their offices are finite. Their resources are finite, and you are asking these attorneys general to devote a bunch of time and money and resources that could be spent fighting white-collar crime or transnational criminals or gangs, and like you're asking for them to devote all these resources because you're going up against the federal government. So you're going to need like a beefy team. You're going to need a big budget. You're going to need like a significant number of your staff working on these things that in the end don't really have like a plausible path forward. And that to me, I think is just very dubious, very questionable. Like I don't think I would want my state to be devoting that level of resource to something that.
I guess let's just use the example of the killers of Preti here. So you had two people on duty.
We got a signal and go talk to Sabrina.
In my eyes,
come on, Toasty, let's roll, buddy.
They're racially profiling people to essentially, I forget which amendment it is, but one of them. They're racially profiling people, seeing if they're a citizen or not. And even if they are, sometimes they fucking take you. It's unlawful search and seizure, the whole jazz. So to me, it's an illegal order across the board. And you have federal agents.
Oh my God! Open at 12. Fucking drunks.
Illegal
drinking at 11.
Okay.
Well, we'll do
what do you think?
First,
didn't the Supreme Court rule on this with the Kavanaugh stops? Didn't they rule that it was like constitutional?
No. What they ruled is that in place, they didn't say that you can do it because someone's brown. They said that you could do it based off of other factors, like being in the Home Depot parking lot, picking up, looking for work. You can't see a brown guy and just go get them. That was not what was said. But to be fair,
careful, Ice Beans. Careful out there.
Dubious, the rulings that they're doing on any of this, anyways. That said,
I may disagree with the ruling, but that's the process. So like if they decide, that the ICE agents can do this, the best course that we have. Well, I'm not familiar, so I'll take your word for it. But like the best course that we have at that point is to win elections and then build consensus and then reshape the judiciary. That's the process for getting that done.
Although I will say, I understand the lefty frustration when it comes to fucking liberals. They fucking enable fascism. I can understand the sentiment. I can understand the feeling. I don't agree that it's always the case, but I understand that both of those go hand in hand. Oh shit, you're right, Ice Beans. My bad. You're fine. You're safe. Plus, you're not going to a Home Depot. Don't lie to us. You go to Lowe's. Actually, I think Lowe's is Canadian, so you guys might only have Home Depot.
But it starts with beating them in elections.
The issue is that you're fundamentally we're not connecting on one point here, and I'm telling you the votes don't matter.
Pausing.
Okay.
Hello, Sabrina. Have you heard anything on your radio? Nothing yet. I've been listening every day. Maybe the antenna isn't working. Hey, do you actually go to Lowe's? That's funny. Maybe the antenna isn't working. We should take a look at it. Sure, we can do that. Damn it, it's gonna drag me along. I have to go get my fucking toaster again. God damn it. I don't know, maybe it's not strong enough. I think we could boost the power to it. Maybe we could build a bigger one. We could try that, but I'm not sure if it would make a difference. Not the antenna, is it? He's just not coming back. Aw, tears. Sad face. Just thought maybe if we keep on listening, I'd finally hear from him. She's waiting to hear back from her dad, by the way. Hear that he's coming back to the pier, just like before. Aw, sad face. Sorry I've treated you this way, Morgan. Your aunt, she talked about you all the time. Almost every day she talked about you. And one day, you came back. You guys got to be a family again. Yet there I was, still just me. No one is coming back for me. Dad's gone off and started a new family, and I don't know what to do. Aw, rip, my dad went out for a pack of smokes too and never came back. To be honest, Sabrina, I don't know what to do either. I'm glad I have an aunt, but we're still pretty broken. I haven't stopped hearing about my mom since I arrived, and she isn't coming back either. Sorry, Morgan, I hadn't thought about that. Guess we're both a bit broken, aren't we? Yay, broken together. I just take it one day at a time. Just have to keep going. Helps to have a few friends, though. I think we could use a few more of those. Aw, they're friends now. I can always stop by the tavern more. Aw, thanks, Morgan. Anytime, Sabrina. Aw, look at the nice picture. Look at the pretty picture. We still have each other. Hell yeah. Son of a bitch. Fucking left me. Goddamn, I gotta go back for my fucking toaster.
Hey, it's who counts the votes. And you're like, well, they're trying right now. I'm saying they're not trying now. I'm saying that they're going to pull some...
What do you want me to do?
They're going to pull some ultra sneaky shit around the midterms. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be some real Stephen Miller, Roger Stone type shit cooked up in the fucking darkest of rooms, and it's going to come out right before
the other thing is that just popped into my head that I really kind of hate about these conversations is the unwillingness to explore creative things or think about creative things, even if they don't work. Right? Because what you could be doing is when you talk about like really creative solutions to things, is you could be triggering in somebody another little seed that gets planted to do something that might not necessarily, both good and bad, that might not necessarily be what you intended to get across, but motivate somebody to do something else, right? If you make it seem like all you have to do is, you know, win elections and maybe protest a little bit, well, you know, if a person can't protest but all they can do is vote, well, they're gonna kind of be stewing on those feelings for 6 months or stuff like that. But if you could get creative, and I understand that the runs the risk of, you know, you get creative, you get people hyped up for things, it doesn't go through, it makes people upset, it actually makes it worse. Totally get that. But I think sometimes it's okay to let the creative juices flow, even if you don't think things will kind of work out the way that you want them to, just because it might plant seeds in other people's heads that come up with solutions that might actually work. I mean, that is what a brainstorming session is, right? Like, in a brainstorming session, there is no bad ideas. What are you angry about? You don't need to go that way. The path out of this place is right there. Don't you get angry at me? Were you afraid of my toaster? You afraid of my toaster? You should be. Oh, look at it. It looks like it's choking the dog. Yeah, and I mean, that's I understand it. It's what people kind of come for Hutch. He's the liberal. He's the more, you know, kind of well-grounded person, and I totally appreciate that about him, and, you know, of all of that nature. But it's okay to engage in fantasy things sometimes, in ways, especially in ways that are non-violent, because I think that's really healthy for people. You know, because it could be that we need more people to get involved with programs and organizations that are trying to hold the Trump administration accountable in maybe really esoteric ways. It's no different than, you know, I've been trying to think of ways that I can make this platform a little more, you know, Alberta pro NDP type deal. And I'm sure if I really put my mind to it and pulled my head out of my ass, I could probably think of like legitimate ways that we could, you know, maybe I should be covering more, you know, NDP content and things like that, because it'll, you know, allow the few viewers that come through to see more NDP stuff instead of always talking about how Danielle Smith is, you know, kind of a bitch. Like if that's all I'm doing, I am going to grow, you are going to grow a segment of your audience that is just perpetually angry or looking for somebody to be angry of if you're always just tearing down things. Which not to say that you can discuss whatever you want and use your platform for any reason, but I don't like this idea that you're poo-pooing somebody's fantasy thinking because it won't go through, but you'll engage with your own fantasy thinking. Because I will say that the idea that you just have to win elections and most of this will kind of be solved moving forward, I would argue is a little fantasy thinking in and of its own right. Because the reality is, it's not just like winning elections is like step 1 of, you know, 5 type deal. Can I get through there? Just don't want to walk and take Mr. Toasty. I didn't make him a nice path. So I don't like the poo-pooing of one ideas just because you don't think it's as feasible. Because honestly, at the end of the day, too, who the fuck are we? Honestly, who the fuck are we? Like I understand Hutch has a way bigger audience than me, probably always will. But at the end of the day, who the fuck are we? So I don't know. I don't like the poo-pooing of the fantasy thinking all the time. I think it's kind of short-sighted.
Terms, and they're gonna do everything they can to take those fucking midterms, and people like you and me are going to be bitching and moaning. And I'm saying the only way, because I know that's coming. I know that that's coming. I know it, that they will do everything they can. And because I know that that's coming, I know the only way I can potentially stop that from happening is to put the fear of God into the people that are going to be required to make that goal happen.
Well,
and that's not just going to be the politicians. It's also
holy shit,
the poll workers.
Okay, this game I don't think is that long.
It's everything down the line. And the only way to put the fear of God in them is to show them today that we're going to go fucking bananas on you guys. That's it.
So,
bananas.
Number one, there's like I've agreed with like a lot
30
of what
small
you
motors,
suggested.
No worries.
And so it's not that I'm saying that we shouldn't be vigilant and do nothing. But there are some of the things that you're suggesting that I think are just frankly a waste of time and resources and have no chance of success and would not produce the kind of outcome you're looking for. I just don't understand how you think if this was really true, like if the Trump administration, they're all sleeping very sound at night because they know they're going to fucking steal the midterms. They've already got their plan in place and they know what they're going to do. And it's just waiting for the date to come where they do the big thing.
I'm trying to deliver your shit.
I don't think anything that you're suggesting is going to dissuade them from doing that. Nothing right now.
Dissuade them? Yeah, there is one thing that could dissuade them. That's
not to be staring out in the ocean,
man. They would have the backing of the people required, the judges and
I didn't take it.
They don't have the backing to.
They do right now because they feel invincible. Then why are ICE agents going and racially profiling people?
If they feel invincible, hang on. If they feel invincible, why are they telling? Why is the White House telling Republicans in Congress to stop talking about mass deportations?
Because the public is turning against that.
Yes. So they're not like invincible right now. They're vulnerable right now. Why did they draw down from Minnesota? Why are they even entertaining conversations about ICE reforms in the context of this budget fight?
That's good.
If they knew they were just going to, if Donald Trump knows he's just going to steal the election, they have an ironclad plan, they planned it out and everything, they're certainly not acting like it. So like, why is Donald Trump like pressuring Congress?
They still have to act because they still have to act within reality.
They're putting on a show, or what do you mean?
Well, no, because he still needs to try and remain popular because the only way is if everyone. Well,
he's historically unpopular, Dan. He's historically unpopular, Dan.
Yet he has enough of a backing that he's able to do this. The fact that Democrats are going along with crazy shit that he's doing.
He's the president.
He may be. I understand that. Okay. But you can't say he's so unpopular, everyone hates him. If that's the case, you would think that people would want their senators to not vote with him, but they do, right?
Well, those people, I mean, those senators.
That is a question. If, like, for example, the war is so unpopular, why are the representatives that are able to stop it and put, is this Dottie? Yeah. Able to stop it, why haven't they? Why haven't those congressional people, worked to put an end to this war by voting against it, and holding the Trump administration accountable for doing it? I understand what Hutch is trying to say. What Hutch is trying to say is there's still guardrails upon which that Donald Trump has to still engage with, because he's not a genie. He's not all powerful, right? There's still things that he can't do because he doesn't have the quote unquote ability to do so. I mean, is that, wait, did he actually shut the fuck up? He didn't. I mean, I'm pretty sure Trump at this point he is like legitimately cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But the other thing too is the other thing too is just because somebody's backing away, a retreat is a win insofar that the enemy actually stays away, right? If your enemy is retreating away but flanking you and you're not aware of it, that's not a win. Okay, that was 2 years ago. I don't know that one. Was this the fucking... was this the Lindsey Graham clip that's on my fucking little feed?
So
hang on.
I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
Send your taxes. No more taxes. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yeah, please do. Because I mean, this question, I don't think I'll ever get a chance to talk to Hutch, nor do I think, I don't know. Sorry, I was just listening to a clip with fucking Lindsey Graham talking. The question would be, what at this point has the Trump administration not wanted to do, or wanted to do that they haven't been able to do at some point? Because I think one thing too is like, yeah, they won't do things at a certain time, but then an opportunity arises for them to do the fucked up thing every single time. Like I can't think off the top of my head something that the Trump administration wanted to do, was told no, and then didn't do it or didn't try it another way. Senator Lindsey Graham pushing for a more aggressive posture in the U.S.-Israel war. What more aggressive than like fucking bombing school children could you possibly have? That's already pretty fucking aggressive. Why the veteran South Carolina Republic has a significant influence over U.S. foreign policy. Oh, or who are questioning why the veteran Graham, who has been calling for military action against the Iranian regime for years, threatened consequences for Gulf countries that have refrained from striking Iran, despite enduring repeated attacks and even floated negotiations with foreign governments. Man, those pictures of when the U.S. fucking struck the oil field shit, that shit is fucking wild, those pictures. How the sky is, like, legitimately black. And then seeing that giant boat on fire, too, yesterday was fucking wild. Through the Strait of Hormuz? I'm saying it wrong. As soon as I see the word, I would be able to probably say it. I'm willing to do a mutual defense agreement with Saudi Arabia. Man, what the fuck? Like, there's Canada's sovereignty, and it's like, no, we can't. We're not gonna agree to that. But Saudi Arabia, boy, oh, we'll do protection and perpetuity. What the fuck? He said in a Fox interview on Monday, if we are attacked by Iran, we would go to war for you. That's crazy. Graham, a close ally of President Donald Trump on foreign policy, also suggested the United States should relocate its military bases from Spain after Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, oh boy, what a name, refused to involve the country in what he called an illegal war in the Middle East. Good job for Spain. The aggressive remarks drew scathing rebukes from the prominent MAGA commentators and activists who have been skeptical of the war, arguing that Graham is overstepping his authority. Well, of course they are, because they can get away with it, because they're fucking drunk on power at this point. And, from the sounds of the clip, legitimately drunk. When did Lindsey Graham become our president? Megyn Kelly. Wait, is her name actually spelled Megyn? Oh, somebody's parents hated them. The one time the Fox News host turned independent podcaster wrote on X. Oh, is it not X, formerly known as Twitter? We've dropped the formerly known as Twitter. She warned about Graham's influence on Trump and described his rhetoric as dangerous. Let's get real. The problem with Lindsey Graham isn't just that he's a homicidal maniac. It's that Trump likes and listens to him, and Trump's favorite channel is parading him around like a Hefner bunny in stockings on every show, she said, referring to her former network home. It's almost like Trump is manipulated by everybody around him. Weird. It's almost like he's weak. A spokesperson from Graham did not immediately respond to a request for comment and criticism. When asked for comment, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the president has a good and candid relationship with Graham. Yeah, always. Can't wait for the day. That's the real liberation day, is when X goes back to being Twitter. Okay, we'll storm the shores of the X headquarters and get it back to Twitter. Graham successfully lobbied Trump to take military action against Iran and has maintained a strong relationship with the president, who he has described as Ronald Reagan +++. Oh my God, Ronald Reagan +++. My God, I didn't know I needed a subscription to that. But his calls for a more aggressive military posture in Iran and strong allegiance to Israel prompted critics on the right to quickly pile on. I'm actually, you know what? I'm a little shocked. I'm a little shocked that has anybody called for nukes yet on Iran? Because I'm actually a little shocked. I'm a little shocked that nobody has. Because these motherfuckers are bloodthirsty. It's fucking crazy. They are like frothing at the mouth, ready to bomb the shit out of this country. Conservative commentator Matt Walsh echoed similar criticisms to Kelly, writing on X, where does he think he derives the authority to unilaterally offer permanent defense agreements to foreign countries? The president of the United States, your leader, your fucking king. And former Rep Matt Gaetz former child toucher Matt Gaetz, probably still child toucher, Trump's one-time pick to be attorney general and now One American News host, was critical of a Fox News interview where Graham repeatedly praised Israel and its military leadership. Moving all of our stuff to Israel is not America first, Gatz wrote. Backlash highlights a divide inside Trump's political base over opposition to further U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts, with the anti-interventionist voice becoming increasingly critical as the war in the Middle East escalates. Yeah, of course, because at this point with the Trump administration, it's whatever crazy motherfucker has enough time to spend with Trump. That's legitimately it. Who has the time to visit senile grandpa in the fucking nursing home? If you were one of those people, or if you can have your fucking camera shoved in his face enough, that's who it is. That's who's going to be influencing him, and that's who's going to be having the choices, or the voice upon which Donald Trump says and does. Like that, at the end of the day, that's easy as. Gonna need more stone in the hole. Oh, hang on. Stone, baby, stone. Let's go inferno. Stone, baby, stone. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of Fox News hosts that have made it to be picks for Donald Trump's administration. No, not surprising. The backlash, had divided critical war. Over half the U.S. voters opposed military action in Iran, and a majority believe the conflict should last for months or more. Oh, believe, so not should, sorry, could, I'm retarded. Could last for months or not more. Oh, yeah, of course. I personally would not be shocked if, like, a year from now we were still discussing how fucking the U.S. was bombing Iran. Where Republicans have overwhelmingly supported Trump's moves, putting the skeptics broadly in the party's minority. 85% of Republicans surveyed said they supported the military action. Holy fuck. That's crazy. But I mean, is it shocking? It's a cult, right? Like, you're like, wow, the Jonestown people, they were really all for the sex-based thing of the cult. That's kind of crazy that they'd be so supportive. It's like, well, yeah, they're in a cult. Of course they're going to support whatever the leader's doing. That's the point of a cult. Yes. Thank you. Like, yeah, I don't know. The White House has publicly refused to rule out the potential for boots on the ground. Fucking crazy. As the administration sends mixed messages for how long the war could last. Well, it's because they don't know, because there's no plan. Because there's no... if you've ever played Stellaris, one of the things that's sometimes a little confusing is, at least for me, because, maybe I'm just fucking smooth-brained, is playing the war aspect of it, because you need to make conditions, and you can have those conditions change, which kind of makes it harder for you to complete your war goals as you do things. If you go into a war and you don't know what the fuck your goal is, you're never going to have it out. You're never going to finish. It's like doing, the war on terror and the war on drugs. And it's like, oh, well, what's your goal? We'll just get all the drugs off the street. Okay. Well, that's an impossible goal. If you were to say, well, the war on drugs, oh, we want to see less people, a 10% reduction in people getting addicted to drugs kind of moving year over year. Okay, that's a reasonable goal. You could do shit like that. That's a decent war goal for you. But if your war goal is just like, fucking, we need to, because it sounds like, honest to God, from the things I've read and the things I've heard, it seems like at the end of the day, the U.S.'s war goal is just like Iran not being an autonomous country. If we're really boiling it down. Because, they've talked about Iran not having influence in that area, which if you're an autonomous country, you're going to always have some level of influence, because you're talking, you're dealing, you're trading stuff, like all that stuff. They don't, from the sounds of it, they don't want them to have a standing army, which means that, okay, who's protecting them then? They want the people to be free, but if the people are going to choose their own leadership and they choose to have that style of leadership, are you just then going to be perpetually at war with this country until they choose the style of leadership that you want? Like, there's no out, there's no end game. And some of Graham's critics argue that he is unnecessarily raising the prospect of Americans being deployed, and if he is, then Trump's going to follow for sure. Croquetin. What the fuck is croquetin? There are some in the Senate that advocate for war everywhere. Lindsey Graham is one of them. He does not tell the president what to do, nor does he control Congress. Rep. Ann Paulina Luna Republican from that's Florida, FLA, posted on X. I have spoken to the administration a number of times, as well as other members of Congress over the last week or so. Nothing has changed regarding boots on the ground. No boots on the ground. Cool. Who's enforcing that, bitches? Like, who's telling you, you're, congratulations, you said no boots on the ground. He's just gonna do it anyways. Let's just face it. Sorry, that was just me clapping for myself. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It cray.
That vote with, like the Trump administration on this or that bill, they are accountable to their constituents. And so the next time there's a...
Oh, hang on. Oh, you did both. Cool. That's fucked.
Up to our allies, step up, get our air bases out of Spain. They're not reliable. Move all those airplanes to a country that would let us use them when we're threatened by a regime like Iran. What
the fuck are you threatening? Motherfucker, they got no fucking water. Man, their ground, like, I watched that thing on, I'm pretty sure it was Iran. Their fucking water crisis, man, that shit's fucking depressing. That shit is, like, what, seeing the ground that is sunk like 16 inches because they've emptied the aquifers. Like, that's the country that's threatening the great America? Holy fuck, how weak is America then? No offense.
Our friends in Spain, man, you've lost your way. I don't want to do business with you anymore. I want our air bases out of Spain into a country that will let us use them. To our Arab friends, I've tried to help you construct a new Mideast. You need to up your game here. I can't go to South Carolina and say we're fighting and you won't publicly fight. What you're doing behind the scenes, that has to stop. The double dealing of the Arab world when it comes to this stuff needs to end. I go back to South Carolina, I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast. What I want you to do in the Mideast, to our friends in Saudi Arabia and other places, step forward and say, this is my fight too. I join America. I'm publicly involved in bringing this regime down. If you don't, you're making a great mistake, and you're going to cut off the ability to have a better relationship with the United States. I say this as a friend.
Basically, like, let's face it, at that point, that's gang material, right? I need you to go cap this motherfucker over there to prove your allegiance to the United States. And if you ain't willing to cap that bitch over there, well, looks like you're the one getting fucking capped. Like, that's quite literally what he's, what he's saying without saying it. That's wild to me.
Primary contest, those constituents, if there's enough of them and enough that disapprove, but Fetterman, very unlikely to survive a primary when he's up for...
So is Fetterman just retarded? He doesn't want to be a politician anymore. And the other ones, the other Democrats that have voted with the Republicans.
It's hard to figure out.
Or the Republicans that are voting with Trump.
It's hard.
Are they all just...
It's hard to figure.
So much stone.
Well, no, I think that they're accountable to their constituents. Like, I think there's a lot of senators and representatives that serve in red states and districts. And so they just have a different constituency than maybe where you live or where I live. Where, I don't know, is the place that you live even
like a very passive non-answer? So
it's not. It's just like you're saying.
Call him out, Dan. Call him out, Dan, the man.
That doesn't mean that somebody who serves in a red district wouldn't be inclined to maybe vote for like one or two or three bills that Republicans are going for because their own constituents are like inundating their offices with phone calls and like putting pressure on them to support these bills. Like every senator and representative is accountable to their constituents.
In my mind, I see politicians, their number one priority is always getting reelected or getting elected.
No, we're at a copper.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that if they thought that their guy was doing crazy shit, they probably wouldn't be wearing his shoes.
These smart cranes. Where's my smart cranes?
They'd probably be like, wow, even most of my Republicans fucking hate this guy. I think I'm going to kind of distance myself and, not do anything. But instead, we see all-in loyalty at this point.
That's not true. What are you talking about? That's not all-in loyalty. We've had record numbers of resignations. You had one of the largest fundraisers in the entire party, Marjorie Taylor Greene, announced her retirement. She's now coming out and talking shit about Donald Trump. The Congress right now, the Senate, led by Thune, are telling Trump no. He's pressuring them very publicly to get rid of the filibuster to pass the SAVE Act, and they're saying no. It's not like he's gotten a lot of what he wanted from this Congress. There's no doubt about that, but there are limits, and the fact that he's historically unpopular is limiting his ability to get stuff done, like right now. And you seem to think that this historically unpopular president would have the kind of institutional support that he would need to literally steal the midterms in a way that is wholly unprecedented and would end the republic. And I'm just not seeing the kind of support out there in the public or even with his own party to pull something like that off. If he tries, okay, but I don't think he'll be successful. And if he is successful, then I'll join you. I don't even know why you keep bringing that up. Like, what am I supposed to do with this information?
Well, see, this is kind of the crux of the issue, is that you're like, oh, well, I'll join you when all
copper
is
in here
lost.
is going to be
I don't need you to join me then. You need to join me now. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I'm already in this fight in a different way. Like, I think the best thing that we can do right now is the thing that we've already been doing, which is like fuck them up electorally. Like, absolutely fuck them up electorally and win elections. And you're pushing back and you're saying, well, I think he's going to steal the midterms. Therefore, you should.
I do. Yes.
Well, I don't think
he's trying
to be
some pretty
successful
sketchy
doing that if he
shit.
tries.
You know what?
I don't even think.
This is crazy. It's a guy who's literally known for denying election results and going balls to the wall to get what he wants. And you're like, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to try.
Say that.
He's just going to let.
I didn't say that.
No, that's not what Hutch is saying. Hang on, before Hutch responds, that's not what he's saying. He's saying if he tries anything, he's going to be stopped. And it's like, is he though? Is he going to be stopped? I mean, as long as shit holds in place and people don't go along with it, he'll be stopped for sure. I would agree with that. But that's like you once again, you're iffing. You're iffing. Wait. It's just, Cause that's the thing is like, yeah, I'd agree. If he tries it and people hold him accountable, you don't have to worry about it. But the question isn't, what do we do if, people hold him accountable accordingly? The question is, what do we do if people don't hold him accountable accordingly? What do we do then? What do we do in that situation? Right? Like if he goes to steal, the midterms and nobody does fuck all about it, what do you do? And I mean, I hate the other thing is like, I mean, he's balls to the wall and it's fucking Civil War time, like, really? That, like, it's either do things 100% by the book or don't do anything by the book. And I don't agree. I don't agree with it, with that. I think you can get creative with the book in what you want to do. And I think that's the idea that's been, trying to be pushed. Do you take bread? Here. Take a loaf of bread. Yeah, now we're friends. You look like you also need a loaf of bread. No, take my bread. Damn it, take the bread. No, you want the bread. Take the bread. God damn it. Didn't want the bread.
And I didn't say that. I said he'll probably try some shenanigans,
probably. He'd say no.
Bro,
say that
it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed he's going to try shenanigans.
He will do everything in his power using the smartest, sneakiest motherfuckers that are on his staff.
He tried that in 2020 and he fucking failed miserably, bro. He failed miserably.
Who was in charge then?
That doesn't matter. He still got to go through the court.
But it wasn't for a lack of trying. It wasn't for a lack of trying. That's the issue, is it wasn't for a lack of trying. It was because, from my understanding, okay, my very limited fucking stoner brain understanding, is that he had his AG, Bill Barr, say, I'm not going to go along with things. And then he had a vice president that said, you know what? Fuck you, Donald Trump. I'm not going to go along with things. And that's what stopped him. It wasn't... why he failed is super important, right? It's not that he failed because his power was checked by the courts and he was held accountable. It was because people didn't want to fucking go along with him. Well, holy shit, hang on, wait, whoosh, hold the phone, fucking hit those brakes. What happens when you have people that want to go along with him? Well, shit, well, that's fucking 10 times scarier. That's way fucking scarier, right? Yeah. And there were no consequences. In fact, there was no consequences. And he pardoned the people that helped him. Woo! Those are two big fucking factors that are gonna make him try it again. Why wouldn't he try again? He wasn't held accountable. There was nothing that happened to him. And in fact, there was nothing that happened to his supporters. So his supporters are gonna go, because this is the little bit of the thing that kind of gets lost. Why aren't they gonna try again? Why aren't his supporters gonna try something again, knowing that if they're successful again this time, because you could argue to some degree they were both successful. They were successful in certain ways and unsuccessful in other ways. But in this point, if you know that this freedom is going to be there on the other end of the fucking crazy extreme, and you know that he has half the country apparently fucking within the walls of his fucking cult, now knowing they can just get away with anything, why wouldn't they try something crazy? Why wouldn't he step way outside the fucking... No, I've never listened to it. If you know where it is, fucking link it. We'll give it a listen, because that would be super. Tina Peters, I don't even know who that is, I'll be honest with you. I feel like I've listened to all this shit just passively. Oh yeah, absolutely, fucking link it. It'll lift your spirit. Okay, yeah, I'm down for some spirit lifting. But yeah, I don't know what in Hutch's mind is like stopping all these horrible things from happening. I don't understand it.
Matter then.
Dan, he still has to go through the courts in every single court.
I can't believe you're doing this. Of course it matters. When the DOJ is your lapdog, okay? When the Supreme Court is essentially
the Supreme Court told him no on like 3 separate cases in 2020, Dan. The same exact Supreme Court said, no, you're not going to seal this election. This is not, you have no merit here.
No.
It's very wild.
Did they change since
these
then?
Are the same thing. If it was...
Did the Supreme Court change since then?
Hang on. But that's not the avenue. That's a avenue that he used to try and do this thing, but it's not the final avenue that he tried. We're missing truly what the linchpin of what he was trying to accomplish. And at the end of the day, it was the fake elector scheme. It really was. That was if you want to truly talk about a situation in which he tried to steal the election, it wasn't putting everything through the courts. No, he's the coffee shop guy. It was the fake elector scheme. That is what truly tried to push him, or truly tried to make it so that he could hold on to power. The court cases, you could argue, were his first attempt, but then he got creative with the attempt. And why do you want so many furnaces, bro? That's a lot of fucking little suspect. There's only, Jesus, furnace for everybody in this town. God damn.
What is the question?
It's the same Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court told him no. Like, you cannot, we're not going to let you steal this election. You have no case here. And they told him no. They told him to fuck off.
Earning
so
money.
Even if you have Bondi.
Oh, this was back when he lost. Yes, yeah. But there was no evidence there, right?
Oh, right. Shit, our copper's down. I'm still trying to get copper.
They're going to try to steal this election. It's not going to happen.
Wait, are you saying that they might like do paper ballots only? And the people who...
How? What do you mean?
I don't know.
How would they do paper ballots only?
They might just like do an executive order. Yeah, they might just do an executive order.
He doesn't have that authority. He does not have that authority.
He doesn't care. Trump doesn't care about that authority. He's done other things that he didn't have the authority to do. And then what he'd do is he'd do the thing that he doesn't have the authority to do and wait for the courts to fucking drag it out for him.
Well, make sure you challenge that.
Dan, he tried to do you remember like a couple months ago, he tried to do an executive order to get rid of mail-in ballots that immediately got tossed out of court.
Maybe that was a precursor to know exactly what to do next time. So that he doesn't
yes,
again,
thank you, Dan.
If we're really in this worst case scenario, the way that you suggest, number one, the stuff that you're suggesting is not going to prevent that from happening. And number two, if it pops off in that way, I'm with you. I mean, I just like...
That's too late. That's too late, though.
It is. You're behind the 8 ball. Yeah.
I'm saying...
When did you guys become so doomer? I just feel like you guys
It's not doomer. I fucking hate that too. Fuck me, I'm pausing every 2 seconds for this video.
A scorpion. And every time you put your hand near the scorpion, it stings
you. It fucking stings you,
and it stings you as hard as it fucking can, okay? And you are like,
wait, who's
well, in the midterms, you know, he probably is going to try and sting you, but, you know, it'll be fine. I'm like,
Pete.
Dude,
I got Pete.
That scorpion knows that if you win
those midterms, I want to go in there. Yeah, I'm sure you're upset.
Okay, this scorpion is going
all allowed in there,
out.
Sir.
He has all of his scorpion
only,
brothers
sir.
that are going to be there. In your shoe,
you'll get hurt too
he's
much.
He's going to be around the corner.
Fucking wreck my streak of 30 days of
no
workplace accidents.
Because he is constrained by the girthy cock of the American Constitution. Right now, he is constrained by the girthy cock of the American Constitution.
It doesn't feel that way.
Is he though?
For everything he does day to day.
I get that.
It really doesn't.
I do understand that, but I mean, you do have to.
You're just saying this time it will be different?
you do have to take into account that like he has been constrained in numerous and significant ways. He can't just
some ways. Usually not. Usually not.
Well, it depends on what he's going for. Like it could just be that the stuff that he's going for, you know, he has the constitutional authority to at least like try and start and do, but he does not have the power to switch to just.
No, but that's what they're saying the Dems should do. But this is the issue. This is what Dems are, you know, people are saying the Dems should do. It's like we don't know if it can fully go through, but why don't we try? And then it's kind of met with the like, well, no, don't try because it's not going to work. And it's like, well, shit. No, and once again, from a lot of the stuff I listened to before the election, I will say, I heard a lot of conservative people say it'd be okay to elect Trump. He's not going to do all this insane shit because, fuck, hang on. It was just in my brain. Hang on. Oh, because the guardrails are in place and they'll keep him from doing the insane shit. And now it's Hutch making the exact same argument. Is like, don't worry about it. He's not going to do the insane shit because the guardrails will hold in place. Like somehow the same argument is being used. I'm not to say that, you know, Hutch's argument isn't valid or theirs because they're making it or anything like that. It's just it's weird. It's just very weird. It's very weird to hear, you know, arguments be made like that. In almost in, you know, in parallel to each other. So it's very weird. Excuse me, Callie, I can't see past you.
Paper ballots. Like he has no authority to do that, and that would get thrown out of court like literally immediately, and the states would just ignore him. Like the red states would just ignore him, bro.
Ooh, hang on.
If he really did that, bro.
Well, I mean, here's the crazy part. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me. I can see it. You know, what if he tries it another way right before elections, and you have, you know, states that agree with Donald Trump that don't count the ballots? Because I will say there seems to be a system in the States, not so much in Canada, that once, especially with the Al Gore stuff, and I would assume they would cite that as precedent, that once an election's done, it's done, even if there's hanging chads or things uncounted. That if you had the Trump administration go try to do a different avenue for ignoring, you know, mail-in ballots or a certain type of voting, that the time that it takes to get through the court, the election's already gone and those votes are invalid just because they were making their way through the fucking courts. That's really fucking scary, right? Because it could be that doing something like that stops votes from getting counted. You know, it wasn't legal what he did. He didn't have the authority, but because he put it through the courts to try and challenge it and slow down the process of getting those votes counted, those votes don't get counted and you're left with an election that goes a very, very different way, right? Especially if you have states like Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's going to listen to whatever Trump says. It's just going to happen. Ted Cruz, he's going to listen to whatever Trump says. If Trump says, nope, we're putting in this lawsuit and paper ballots or mail-in ballots, or if you're not voting with this certain ID, your vote's not valid. Those blue states, because I always forget red states. Yeah, red states are the conservatives, are going to follow through and not count those, could potentially not count those votes. That's really fucking scary. Right, Callie? What do you think of all this? Nah, you're just a cat. You don't care. Could be a kitty, huh? Mwah. You smell of litter box, but I bet you anyways. So, yeah. Right, Callie? Very scary. Yeah. I can't believe it's almost 11 o'clock already. That blows my fucking mind. I don't know how long I've been streaming. An hour and a half already, and we've just been chilling, Callie. You look too comfy. You look so comfy right now. You better not go off and die on me. You better not be all snuggly, because normally you're not this snuggly. You do it, man. Oh, Ice Beans, you missed my story yesterday. I went and was doing some laundry the other day, and I had D open the dryer when it went off, because it just likes to sit there and scream at us. And I got up, went to go change over the laundry. I was like, there's not much in there from the last load. I got some sheets. I'll just toss it in. Not thinking. Didn't check the dryer. Turn it on. Thud, thud, thud. I'm like, oh, okay. Then, you know, the sheets sometimes when they're all balled up, you know, I tried to get them as best I could, but, you know, maybe it's just knocking around in the dryer, whatever. Don't think any of it. And D's like, why do I hear meowing? And I was like, oh, it's the piano you're using. Like, the piano it's got a cat function. And I look over and he has it on not the cat function. And he's like, no, I think meowing's coming from over there. Oh my God, poor Twerpy was in the fucking, she had jumped in to take a nap on the nice warm laundry. And luckily she was only in there for like max a minute. So now we joke and call her Tumblr Kitty. Because, and it was, I remember opening the door, and luckily I'd put the sheets on top of her, so I think it actually kept her from getting hurt to any degree. But she like looks at me and is like, that is the worst ride I have ever gone in my life. Please don't let me do that again. So she hasn't gotten anywhere near the dryer. So, and I've learned to check the dryer every time.
Like, bro, that's just like a specific example. That's a specific example.
I know, but I'm saying,
you're right. If he really did that, we're fucked. And I agree, which is why I'm all in on making sure that people think like,
I don't even agree
we should
that
not be doing this. States are crazy.
I don't even agree
states
that
are charging motherfuckers.
I don't even agree that if he found a way through the process, which I don't think he has, I just don't think he can do that. I don't think he has any options to like stop these elections from happening. But
not about stopping. It's not about stopping. You don't have to stop the machine. You just got to throw a wrench into it.
And
there's nothing in the he can't do that. It's not up to him. No, but he has no authority to do this. Like the states are the ones that
he also had no authority to do tariffs.
Very clearly, it is laid out in the Constitution.
It goes to the Supreme Court.
You have no you don't have authority to go door to door asking if you've got immigrants in your house. You don't have authority to lock people up without due process. You don't have authority. You know, there's so many things you could look at. It's like, well, Trump didn't have authority for this. He didn't have authority for that. He doesn't have authority to start a war with another country. He's doing it anyways. Like, you can say all these things. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's not fundamentally changing fucking anything.
They won't do that, Dan. They will not do that.
You don't know that.
They will not say that the president can just invoke emergency powers, declare martial law, and cancel elections.
You don't fucking know that. Trump is famous for you know, everything's a national emergency. You have absolutely, that is, and I think that is sometimes it doesn't come from a place of optimism, but it kind of does at the same time. It comes from a place of like dog doesn't even get to catch the ball, it just comes right back to me because I got the power glove on. Yeah, get it, puppers. You never know what somebody is truly capable of or what is being schemed behind the scenes when they've already shown you that they are deceptive, they are schemers, and they don't respect rule of law. You can't possibly begin to fathom or even say definitively what somebody is capable of. And I think it's dangerous to assume otherwise, that somebody is capable of doing something to the worst extreme when they've already done other things to arguably the worst extremes.
They would not do that.
No, they would say that, you know, because of some electronic warfare.
Why wouldn't they? Actually, you know what my question is? Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they? What's stopping them? What's stopping them from doing that?
Attack that we can't trust X, Y, or Z.
Why didn't they do that in 2020? Why didn't they do that in 2020?
Because they weren't in power.
Because they had people that...
They were in power.
No, because they had people that stopped a lot of this shit. He didn't have sycophantic people with him.
Why would they not do it then? But now they're on board. Did he like...
Because it was after the point. They would need to have them win and then Democrats trying to do it. Like, it's opposite. You understand? Like, the people, like, once you win, then you're on the back foot. You're trying to be like, no, I didn't. I actually did win.
You're saying that
I did.
You're saying that the Supreme
disadvantage.
You're saying that the Supreme Court didn't let him steal an election after it was clear that he lost, but they'll let him prevent an election?
They might. Yeah, they could.
They're not gonna do that, Dan.
But it doesn't matter if it gets tied up and it takes time to litigate this stuff and the damage is already done. What does it matter?
Donald Trump is a uniquely corrupt criminal president, and all of that matters, and he's doing like very real damage, and I'm not minimizing that at all, but he is not going to steal these midterms. We are going to have midterms.
Hopefully.
We are going to stomp them out.
Hopefully.
If he tries some shit, the courts will resoundingly like reject his efforts.
Hopefully.
And you know what I'm going to hear from you?
No authority.
When it happens, you're going to be like, no one could have seen this coming.
No,
this is totally crazy. I can't believe that the Supreme Court is letting this wacky law that hasn't been even used since 1790. Like, this is fucking crazy. The fact that they're using the soldiers quartering rule is like nuts. That's what's gonna happen. And you're gonna be like, who would have known? I knew they were gonna do that.
I think our system is a good system precisely because it's really difficult for a Putin-like figure or a Xi Jinping-like figure or Kim Jong-un type figure to just do stuff, to just authoritatively do stuff. That's why I like our system, and he is going to run into that system again. if he tries to pop the fuck off in the midterms, and he will lose that fight.
I would have agreed with you if it was last time.
Again.
When he had, you know what? You know why last time was different? It's because his staff, everyone on his team was made up of like real people.
Yeah, tell him, Dan.
Like, you know, at the end of the day, like Bill Barr, these guys, they're real dudes.
It is.
They're real dudes.
It is. They're the one doing the work.
His staff is not the issue.
The
issue is the other chambers of the other branches of government. Like you can't
say that when I can just watch the federal government come in and fucking seize voting machines.
They didn't do that illegally, Dan. They got a warrant from a judge. They're gonna investigate the voting machines, and then they're obviously trying to find like.
Are you listening to yourself? You think that can't happen again?
You think that a judge is gonna sign off on the federal?
Why did it happen this time?
Because
Why did
they're investigating something that happened fucking 6 years ago, Dan. There's not gonna be a judge
outside the statute of limitations.
Yeah. Okay. Just I have nothing to say. I got nothing on that one. Wait, can I pump out honey from those suckers? I don't know what I need honey for, but okay. Now we're game changer. Game changer. We're gonna do most things underground so people don't get fucking hurt. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, there. That. Faster door. Okay, sorry. I'm just moaning about building
Patience, Hutch.
I don't think
that's
true. Why are they
there in the first place?
How the fuck did they get a warrant from a judge then?
Because it's a corrupt fucking government that doesn't care.
Okay, well, listen, in order for him to be successful, like, he's going to need the cooperation of the judiciary. And
yes,
the
and they're cooperating with him.
Significantly checked him on a number of occasions already
because
so far during this term.
Because
he seemed inclined to believe that the judiciary would sign off on him declaring emergency powers and then declaring that he has power that he just does not have in the Constitution. You think that they would sign off on that?
He doesn't give a fuck.
Man, what makes you think he respects the Constitution,
man?
You
have become with the system right now. Like there are limits. Like there are boundaries that he cannot operate outside of, and this is one of those things that's firmly outside of those boundaries. I do wish that we could just fast forward, so I can like pat that head of yours and just comfort you and say, look,
I need you to explain to me.
He went up against the girthy Constitution and he lost again.
I want to be explained how the DOJ is getting voting machines from Georgia right now.
Okay.
And why you're okay with that and think it's
Why do you think I'm okay with that? Why do you think I'm okay with that?
Yeah, I don't think I should be okay with
that. No, I don't think you're okay with that. That's all right. I want to know why you think they couldn't do that immediately after the election.
Because you would need a judge to sign off on it, and they're not going to go along with that.
Why did they sign off on this one?
Dan, that is an event that happened 6 years ago.
It doesn't matter. No. That's a good question. Why did it happen this time? Why didn't it happen last time? Why didn't they seize voting machines last time? What's different? What's different? Because something is fundamentally, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things are done. No, the robot chicken is one of these things is not like the other. One of these kids is dead. Is kind of the thing is like, what is, I spy with my little eye. What's different this time than last time? And it's because Trump has people that agree with him. His sycophants.
They're not
that's stronger for my.
It wouldn't have
limitations on crimes like this is 5 years.
Dan, do you acknowledge that there's a difference between a judge signing off on the administration seizing voting machines before an election takes place? Understand there's a
what about immediately after?
They can try, but a judge is not going to sign off on that, buddy. That is not going to happen. If they try to conjure some, they literally have no authority to do this. If they try to assert that they have, some evidence that there was fuckery, they're going to have to present that evidence to a court. And what do you think their odds of success are going to be in that spot?
Oh, well, I've been telling you from the beginning, it doesn't matter the success. It matters anchoring reality for the American public, and then they move forward with it. Hence why we had Bush versus Gore.
Why, if this was true, if the judiciary was so thoroughly compromised as you say it is, then why have we seen the judiciary tell him that he had to withdraw national troops? Why has the judiciary told him that he couldn't do blanket tariffs in the way that he was doing? Like why have the courts blocked a number of his policies? Like big policies. If they were really that compromised and we're gearing up for the judiciary to
man, she used hang on, can we
here the defense has, and Ms. Peters in particular, has remained quite defiant, which is her right, but certainly not helpful for her lot today. And in arguing why I should impose a particular sentence, she tells me about her ailments, her loss, her struggles in life. But in reality,
I have TISM, Your Honor.
For those of you who may have been here earlier this morning and seen some of the folks who've occupied that chair before Ms. Peters, there could be not much in the way of a comparison in terms of the type of sympathy one would extend to Ms. Peters. Those folks didn't have four lawyers representing them. They didn't have a team of assistants helping them. They're not getting rides in private jets all over the country. The people who sit in that chair
he's already
suffer, generally speaking, immeasurable trauma in life, struggle mightily with alcohol abuse, substance abuse, mental health struggles, family loss. They come from broken homes. The cards they were dealt were never the cards that you were dealt, Ms. Peters. So when I hear you discuss your husband, who sadly passed away recently, your family struggles, and your son, who served our country admirably and made the ultimate sacrifice, I consider it. And I note, too, that he honored his oath to the country, something that is not lost on me when considering the circumstances under which you find yourself here.
Not something you did. Get wrecked.
Your age, limited criminal history, and the like are certainly somewhat mitigating. Your ties to the community are what they are, but your reputation at this point is poor because of what you've done here and after. Your lies are well documented.
Oh,
and these
get
convictions
wrecked.
Are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could.
Yep, probably.
You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen. You don't have those histories of drug and alcohol abuse. There's no lifetime of trauma, not even close to the type of mitigating circumstances I would see from many folks who sit in that chair. No, to the contrary, Ms. Peters, you are a privileged person. You are as privileged as they come.
Based.
And you use that privilege to obtain power, a following, and fame. And to be sure, there's no doubt in my mind that that is exactly what you wanted, and it defies all sense of common sense to believe when you suggested to me a few moments ago that you didn't want this attention. No, you crave it, ma'am. And there is no one in this courtroom who would consider that to be anything other than the absolute truth.
Based. I'll snip with you, Judge.
But to get to the point of what it is that you did here, it's my impression distinctly that you never took your job of clerking particularly seriously. You didn't complete the certification. One scandal after another followed you in your time as the clerk. And ultimately, it was a belief that the echo chamber in which you live couldn't be wrong, among other things, that led you to do what you did here. This thought process, unfortunately, seems to consume so many in our country, regardless of race, gender, political affiliation, or the like, that what it is we hear and think can't possibly be wrong. There are many things in my mind that are crystal clear about this case. You are no hero, you abused your position, and you're a charlatan who used and is still using your prior position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again. In your world, it's all about you. But at bottom, this case was about your corrupt conduct and how no one is above the law.
Hell yeah.
No one in this country has absolute power.
Yes.
Your position as a clerk and recorder,
I'm fucking moist right now, I'm not gonna
position, does not provide you with a means by which to do your own investigation, to not listen to the judiciary, to not listen to the executives higher than you, to not listen to the legislature who sets the law as it may be. This is nonsense. Our system of government can't function when people in government think that somehow, some way, the power they've been given is absolute in all respects. And that's where you fell. You have no respect for the checks and balances of government. You have no respect for this court. You have no respect for law enforcement. And you do not have respect for your fellow colleagues when you were a clerk and recorder who weren't lockstep in your beliefs. Period. Indeed, just weeks before trial, you were apparently doing what I mentioned earlier, that is, over at the clerk and recorder's office where you're not supposed to be, violating the protection order by speaking to employees of that entity with your camera crew in tow.
Whoa. So literally like flaunting the disregard for what the judges said. Holy shit. I mean, so far I'm fucking, it's like when you never have those days where, you know, I'm gonna rock in my chair for a second. I'm gonna imagine days. So imagine with me, okay? Bringing my face so it's not as far away so we can hear. I'm just rocking. And we're sitting on the front porch. It's been a little rainy outside, okay? It's been a couple of days of rain, the clouds. And then all of a sudden the rain stops. Hang on, I gotta set the tone. 1 second. You're rocking outside. It's raining, and then all of a sudden and the sun hits you, and you feel its warmth, and you feel good. You know, it's okay. Yeah, body days are a little bit away. That's what hearing this judge talk is making me feel. Oh yeah, hang on. You're right. Yeah, it's been like this. Just sitting out, watching it rain. And you're like, oh, it's been days. Is the rain gonna stop? Like, I appreciate the rain, but you know, it's just we want a little sunshine. And this was listening. No, listening to this guy speak. Is the clouds are parting, the little bit of rain, the lot of rain that we got, it's going, the birds are chirping a little bit, and you're like, holy fuck. Thank you. I know it doesn't matter what comes my way or what. I'm fucking tearing, okay? I'm tearing. Fucking bird sounds made me cry. Actually, my eyes have been dry as fuck, so I'm probably just tearing, just regardless. But let's call it fucking tears. I'm crying right now, okay? I'm fucking crying. That's how it feels. It's like I don't care that if nothing works out correctly, if it all goes to shit, it doesn't matter. Because at least at some point I knew that there was at least one adult in the fucking room.
You have no qualms with violating the court's orders because you're innocent. Because you didn't do anything wrong. You were just doing your job.
Yep.
You have no problem trying to kick an officer. Your explanation about what happened is preposterous. It's on video. You have no problem lying to officers. It's happened multiple times. They're recorded conversations. It's just more lies. No objective person believes them. No, at the end of the day, you cared about the jets, the podcasts, and the people fawning over you. You abdicated your position as a servant to the Constitution, and you chose you over all else. Yes, you are a charlatan, and you cannot help but lie as easy it is for you to breathe. You betrayed your oath for no one other than you. And this is what makes Miss Peters such a danger to our community. It's the position she held that has provided her the pulpit from which she can preach these lies. The undermining of our democratic process, the undermining of the belief and confidence in our election systems. It's not about questioning it. No one says you can't question, you can't ask. It's completely different. And if you don't understand that distinction, then there's nothing I can say or do here today.
Preach, brother, preach.
So the damage that is caused and continue to be caused is just as bad, if not worse, than the physical violence that this court sees on an all too regular basis.
Yep.
And it's particularly damaging when those words come from someone who holds a position of influence like you.
Yep.
Every effort to undermine the integrity of our elections and public's trust in our institutions has been made by you. You've done it from that lectern the voting public provided you with. Everything you've done has been done to retain control, influence. The damage is immeasurable. And every time it gets refuted, every time it's shown to be false, just another tale is weaved.
Yep. Another thread is pulled and another thing added to the carpet. Yep.
So I'll begin by saying I've considered all of those purposes of staying of an execution of a sentence. I've mentioned all of them here generally in my comments already, and I find that a stay of any sentence I impose would be wholly unwarranted. All cases have a possibility of reversal on appeal, no doubt. I'm at peace with all of the decisions I've made here. If anything, I gave you and your counsel far too much leeway at times, but the rulings I made came after much consideration.
Yeah.
Incredible amounts of internal debate, and I trust in accordance.
Truly, at this point, if for somebody to call this judge like biased or, it's just because it's a MAGA person, it's like, no, this judge is clearly, he has sat down, he has looked at the law, he has understood the actions that the person is engaging in, the behavior, the mindset, because I think the state of mind is to some degree very important when we talk about like sentencing people for crimes. Right? That's why we have differentiations in, killing somebody, whereas, is it manslaughter? Is it truly accidental? Or is it an intentional murder? Like, those are important. And I like that this judge, as he's describing about the sentence that he's about to lay down, he's giving you a very clear window into his mind upon why he's doing what he's doing, why the sentence is going to be what it's going to be. All these things that go hand in hand with knowing that, the judge that is giving the ruling has been as unbiased as humanly possible, I think is beautiful. I think it's just it's so refreshing to hear this level of integrity and authenticity offered to somebody that quite willingly has no fucking respect for rule of law, how their actions affect other people. And he's right, the damage that is being done to everybody else in society because you were so thirsty to make your position and your power and the things that you wielded all for you. We like to talk about, I like anime because I'm a fucking weeb. Okay, one of my favorite shows is Black Clover. I've been rewatching it. Fantastic show. If you've never seen it, totally 10 out of 10. Fully recommended. You'll be saying how you're going to push past your limits every stage of your life, because that's what I constantly tell myself, my kid, my wife, is, it's a challenge, but we're just pushing past our limits to, grow as people. And I think it's beautiful. It's a wonderful show. I forgot where I was going with this, but one of the things is, I remember now. When we talk about magic and there's no magic in real life, well, the magic is the words and the actions that we engage in every day. It effectuates, it ripples through the course of every other person's life in ways that we can't possibly sometimes even begin to fathom until something has happened, or even still, things happen and we're still not always aware of the consequences that we're enacting on other people. Maybe I take out a library book to read and it's not there and it changes the entire course of somebody else's life, right? Like our actions and words are magic in a lot of ways, if you want to look at like that. And this woman is wielding her magic and her ability and her skills for evil, and for her own selfish gain. And it's nice and it's refreshing to see somebody held accountable for it.
With the applicable law, I consider the sentence here in this case what are available to me: probation. Community corrections wasn't requested, but it wouldn't be an option in any event, and an incarcerative sentence to the Department of Corrections. Probation's focus is rehabilitation. That is, for folks who have minimal criminal histories, low LSI scores like you, Miss Peters, but where punishment isn't really on the table. It's about putting someone back in the community who's not a risk and giving them a chance to correct those things that brought them before me in the first place.
But she's not going to do that.
Community corrections, which again isn't available, but nevertheless I'll mention, is another option that I could still order. It's much more stringent than probation, but it's not prison. And it's for folks who have even higher needs. Again, drug addicts, alcohol abusers, and the like. And prison is for those folks where we send people who are a danger to all of us. Whether it be by the pen or the sword or the word of the mouth.
Go along with him stealing an election.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. It's not what I wanted to pause. Oh. Fucking snap. Snap. Fucking beautiful. Oh my god, this man. I'm back on the front porch. Fucking sun shining. Dog's even standing. Holy shit, that's fucking, yes. By the pen or the sword, if you are a danger to society, that is what prisons are for. God damn, fucking beautiful.
Because the crime committed is so significant.
Yeah. No, kitty. Oh, what are you doing? Why are you loading? Don't load. Just play. Just play. No. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to anger you.
Here.
9 minutes. I mean, I could listen to the whole thing fucking 12 times, but...
First place. Community corrections, which again isn't available, but nevertheless I'll mention, is another option that I could still order. It's much more stringent than probation, but it's not prison. And it's for folks who have even higher needs. Again, drug addicts, alcohol abusers, and the like. And prison is for those folks where we send people who are a danger to all of us. Whether it be by the pen or the sword or the word of the mouth. Prison is where folks go, where punishment is what we're focused on, because the crime committed is so significant that anything less would unduly mitigate the seriousness of the same. I mentioned before there are no mental health concerns. There's no good reason why you're here, Ms. Peters, other than these are all the active decisions that you made that cost our county significantly, but also more importantly, cost you greatly, Mr. Wood, all the members of the county who worked and trusted you when you asked them to do things that they did on your behalf. It's part of your lies. The expense, the toll is immeasurable. So putting you on probation when you have zero needs that would be met by probation is the very definition of unduly depreciating the significance of what it is that you've done here. The harm that you've caused our community and continue to cause. Community corrections is the same. So prison is the only place that duly meets the purposes of sentencing in this matter. And therefore the sentence and judgment of the court is as follows. As to counts 1 and 4, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years in the Department of Corrections. Those sentences will be concurrent to each other. As to count 2, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years consecutive to counts 1 and 4. As it relates to the misdemeanor charges, count 8 is 120 days in the Mesa County Detention Facility, concurrent to count 9 and 10, which will be 6 months in the Mesa County Detention Facility, consecutive to the prison sentence. The reason those sentences are consecutive is because those sentences are, as the prosecution stated, directly related to what it is that you did here in our community, the damage you caused this community, the breach of your oath to the electorate in Mesa County. Your sentence will be followed by 3 years of parole. You have 2 days of pre-sentence confinement credit. Anything I missed? Anything else we need to address?
Yeah, you need to drop that fucking mic, brother.
Count 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. Count 6 is criminal impersonation. That's also consecutive. That's 15 months to the Department of Corrections.
Ooh, get wrecked.
So it's 8.5 years total, plus the 6 months for a total of 9 years. of incarceration.
And I think the only other thing is the cost of prosecution, Your Honor.
Is there an objection to the cost of prosecution, Mr. Case? We could set it for hearing if you need to.
Well,
if you need to have time to respond to it, I can give you that as well.
yeah, we do, because we don't understand how that was calculated.
Very well. I'll give you 21 days to file an objection to the cost of prosecution. You can consult that with the prosecutor. If there's an objection, we'll set it for a hearing. Nothing else. Mr. Case, anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. We have a motion.
Nope, she's gonna spend 9 years in jail and have to pay back all that stuff.
I just denied that.
Yeah. Fucking listen. Fucking loser. Fucking listen to what the judge just said. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, now it makes me a little, hang on. Peters, because I thought I saw. Oh, okay. Democratic state lawmakers urge Colorado governor not to shorten. No, fuck that. Fuck that bitch. She fucking did the crime. Have her, she's in jail. That was great. That was pretty good. That was, if I watch nothing else today, like I go pick up my son from school and be like, Daddy, aren't you so proud of me? Like, you shut the fuck up, son. I watched a fucking ruling, okay, of somebody getting what they deserved, okay? It doesn't matter what you fucking did. Is it that fucking good? Huh? Is it? Is it? No? Then shut the fuck up. No, I wouldn't do that to him. Better be a great fucking picture, though. Or else, oh boy, it's comparison time. Wait, what? Wait, what country does make the most oil? I actually don't know. Oh, it is the United States. Is that per capita? Do we calculate things like that? Oh, oil production per capita is fucking Kuwait. So if you're looking at pure raw numbers on how much, it's US. But if you're talking per capita, they're actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th behind Russia as well. Chris Evans at not Captain America. That's funny. That's a pretty funny fucking X page. Pride Month is so deflated. I love you. And it's like a picture of somebody proposing to what I assume is their now fiance. And it's like, you proposed to your girlfriend and your first thought was gay people? Weird flex, babe. Yeah, fucking true. That is kind of weird. Man, I just couldn't stop myself from thinking about that big, girthy fucking cock as I proposed to my fucking girlfriend. Ah, can't believe those gay people exist with their fucking massive fucking throbbing penises. Anyways, fiance, would you or girlfriend, would you marry me? Totally not thinking about fucking large pulsating abs on a man right now. Totally not. That's not what I'm thinking about at all. But anyways, will you marry me?
Things right now.
So here's what I want to do.
Oh,
we're going to focus.
Great work, my dear. Let's get to building the next section for the rocket. It's going to be a late night. You want to have some coffee ready? I'll go put on some pot. I'll put on a pot. I'll smoke some pot. I'll have some coffee.
On something. Well, I'd like to focus on something because I think it's a good thing.
Oh shit, there's still more fucking storyline. My bad. I think we're about ready to lower the new section into place. Hell yeah. It's been so long since you and Mom connected the piece before this. Yeah, should we dust off the outer ring? Maybe all the way around? Is she ever nervous that it might not go well? Also, why are we building a rocket? Oh, you don't understand, dearie. We're part of North Korea's missile segments. All the time, but it was always went off without a hitch. Her mother was a very talented engineer. It's amazing that she could do it with just a pencil and a slide rule. And sometimes even a kid hanging off her arm while she worked. That was me. All right, no sense putting it off any longer. Hold on to your overalls, because it's time. I don't remember what he says. Oh, time for an overhaul. Mask, great movie. You know, Grandma, I'm really kind of curious what kind of payload we're putting in this. This is a pretty big fucking rocket. That isn't right. Oh my god, the dog's in there. What happened? I'm not sure. I have an idea, though. Let me double check. Oh, I was hoping this wasn't the problem. What is it, Auntie? Looks like the new section is slightly out of spec. We're only a few centimeters off, but that isn't enough that isn't seating properly. I was so sure I had everything measured out correctly. Not to worry, my dear, it's just part of the process. Wouldn't be science if there wasn't some trial and error. Wait, do I get to build more things? Because the achievements told me I was all done building stuff. Can we fix it? Of course we can, but not tonight, I'm afraid. We'll need to get one of us up there to make some adjustments. You should get some rest, my dear. I promise we'll start first thing in the morning. Alrighty then. And then Auntie tripped down the stairs, and we just never recovered, and we never built the rocket any further. Morgan? Yes, Auntie? Don't beat yourself up. We'll get there. These things take time. Do they, though? Do they? Yeah, let's stare out on the bridge. Yeah. Throw pebbles in the wall. Can't believe it, doggo. Stupid rocket didn't work. Can't even... What do you want, you stupid little machine? Just throwing pebbles into the river. Hey there, Pico. Couldn't sleep either, huh? Charging port just wouldn't lock in. Your wheel is squeaking. Well, hold on a second. That should do it. Cool. Let's go to the goop. Came all the way back here to work on this rocket. Told everyone I met about it. Here, and I messed it up already. Scoop, got up a goop. Mama's such a great engineer. Everyone keeps saying it. It's all I've heard since I showed up here. What if I can't do what she did? What if they're just disappointed in me? Scoopaloopy. I'll just have to show them that I'm just as capable as Mum was. Looks like we have our work cut out for us. Oh yeah, don't give up. Now's not the time for giving up. Now's the time for winning. T-3 complete stage of 1 of the rocket. Oh, it's gonna go 99. Oh shit, I thought tomorrow will be a better day. Day 23 without an accident. That's because I put caution tape everywhere. Chapter 3, the 3rd chapter, Fall. Nico mentioned that she was already in the silo. Morgan, what are you up to over there? More Nancy just wanted to get a head start on correcting the alignment issue. Well, I'll be. Now that's dedication. Oh, hello. Oh, hi, Elsie. Didn't see you over there. Elsie stopped by to discuss a proposal with you. For sure, I'll be down in just a moment. I have to get away from the dark abyss with no fall protection. How long exactly were you up there, Morgan? Yeah, I couldn't sleep, so I came here instead. But I've got a problem sorted out. Take a look. Yeah, slap the keyboard. Ooh, look at it, goes up. Ooh, and then it goes down. Do you see how those pixels fit into place? It was amazing. A perfect fit. And now for the best part. Beep, 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 beep. Welding. Well, I haven't seen those older welders up and running in years. I'm surprised we didn't have to fix them first. This is quite impressive. But still, you shouldn't push yourself so hard, Morgan. It can lead to mistakes. Don't tell me what to do, devil woman. I do what I want. I mean, don't worry, I'm fine, Auntie. What was it you wanted me to talk about, Elsie? Oloka? And I were just talking about your work here at the silo. Sorry, I don't know who the fuck that is. You mean Auntie? Use the proper termage. Quite remarkable, really. I have to say, I'm very impressed on how much you've accomplished in such a short time. Okay, yeah, glaze me a little bit more. What the fuck do you want? What do you want? What do you want? It's nothing, really. I had lots of help from Auntie. What the fuck we did? Even still, it's been inspiring to see. We don't get that kind of enthusiasm around here very often. Anoka and I were looking over the plans for the rocket, and there's quite a few specialized parts. I was thinking maybe we could help each other out. My observatory is on the other side of the canyon up at the peak. If we could get it reopened, I could help you research the blueprints you need. Oh, a little quid pro quo, huh? A little quid pro quo. It's a big ask, but I was wondering if you could help me repair the telescope at the observatory. Fucking knew it. There it is. There it is. I'm surprised I'm the first person you'd come to. Who Who's she coming to, Morgan? Huh? Who's she going to? Fucking Cliff? He's running the general store. Okay, he can barely walk around town. I'm surprised that motherfucker makes it to church and back. But I'd be more happy to do what I can to help. Morgan, you have no idea how happy that makes me to hear. When you have a moment, come meet me in front of the observatory. We can go over what's needed for the repairs. I'll leave you to your work from now on. Yeah. Whoa, oxygen tanks, servos? I thought I was done researching everything. Wasn't that the achievement I got? I don't know how to build oxygen tanks and stuff, or do I? No, I know how to build servos. I can do circuit board and motors, although I don't know where I'm going to build it, but okay.
The seizure of the election counting machines in Georgia is past the statute of limitations. Okay? It is not possible to bring this case. Okay? Most federal crimes are 5 years, except for like murder and probably certain other things. It's past the statute of limitations. It's no longer possible to do this. But a judge signed off on it. So how? Because in your world, this shouldn't be possible to have happen, right? But a judge did it anyways. For a voting machine in a state. And if that happened there, why would it not happen again?
Oh, okay. I'm not done researching everything.
Do you understand how many fucking voting machines he would have to seize
research right
to steal these midterms?
Okay.
You understand? Like, he would have to...
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta use the big boys room. Okay. And then let's get stuff. 2 seconds while I scratch my beard. Fill my coffee. Throw on some, like a fucking baby. You guys want some music? You want some toddler? Want some music? Want some jingling keys? Wait, is there 10 hours of jingling keys? 10? It's not 10 hours of fucking rain. Jingling keys. Pete. There, you get to listen to jingling keys while I go pee. was worried the jingling keys wasn't going to be long enough. Oof. Oh, thank fuck. Ooh, we only used 22 minutes of it. Had to... Well, A, I had to poop. And then B, I'd help my moms. My moms with something. Man, I don't even know if I could sign into my... I have to know what exact? Shit, I don't even remember. I have to try to remember how to get. Okay, now we're back. Just dealing with something. Well, I'm half back. A close open. A clopin. We're just fucking cloping it.
Face liability for it.
Only have to.
You would have to see is like literally thousands of voting machines.
Scusi.
I mean, only in a few certain districts, right?
No, what are you talking about? Like, these are midterms all over the country. He can't make up for, you know, like the losses that they will sustain by just focusing on like one or two jurisdictions. This would have to be like literally thousands of voting machines seized. And if that's really the case, then we are off to the races. People will take.
To be clear, okay, unless you think that like we're barely going to get the Senate if we get it in the delightful world. And what's the current amount of seats that we're supposed to be positive if things go to plan for the House?
I mean, nobody knows for sure, but it could be anywhere between like a 20, 30. It could be like, it depends. Like if they continue on the current trend right now, it could be 30 plus seats, but I think realistic projections are between 20 and 30 seats.
Okay.
I really have to fucking pee right now. So I'm going to do that.
Classic CC move.
I'll be right back.
That's a classic me move.
I'm going to remember exactly.
Don't get me in trouble. Don't say anything. Don't say anything crazy.
Do it,
okay.
Dad.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Do it.
You need to understand that he doesn't need to do this all across the country, right?
Nope.
He just needs to pick up a certain amount of. He just needs to be the majority. That's it. He just needs
Doesn't
to
even
do
need
it
the
in one
majority.
place. Or maybe two states.
No.
That's enough.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
For the Senate, sure. For the Senate, you could try to block the Senate, but not for the House. You would need more than two states.
All right. How many states does he need just to keep a majority?
Well, hang on. Just so we're clear. So how does this play out to you? Okay. So he says we have evidence of a crime. We're going to take these voting machines, and you're just not going to hold elections.
Oh, well, no, we're talking about a different thing here. Like, I think in this case, it'll be some shenanigans. Tulsi Gabbard will be there wearing a baseball cap in the background. Hard to say exactly how it'll go down.
Okay, so
I'm not that evil to know.
So they just steal voting machines from heavily blue districts, but the rest of the votes...
not steal. There was a cyber attack by Venezuela. They were able to intercept it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were able to... A lot of the votes added there were fake. Okay, but anyone who did a paper ballot, that's okay. We're counting them now in the back, and everything is fine.
And so they would disenfranchise a bunch of like Democratic voters, but then the rest of the votes in that state would count. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I can't listen. You're asking me to tell you how they're going to steal.
Could absolutely go like that. Yep.
The election, and the answer is I don't know. I don't know, but I do know
that
they're smarter
point is
than
that they're shady enough to do it.
And if there's a way to do it that they can get past, they will do it. And you're naive if you think that they won't try, and they won't do the sneakiest, most manipulative, evilest fucking plan.
Miserably in 2020.
Not for lack of trying.
They failed miserably in 2020.
Things were different in that circumstance.
Well, I don't even know what that means.
Well, in that circumstance, they still had real people that thought that there was consequences for their actions.
You cannot unilaterally. We're looping here. The administration cannot.
You're right, because you think that Bill Barr is the same as what we have now, and it's not.
Even if you had Bondi back then, she would have been laughed out of court just the same. Instead of 60 court cases, maybe it would have been 200 court cases, but they would have been laughed out of court all the same, man.
You don't know that.
I don't think so.
You seem to think that in the last 6 years, the judiciary has transformed so radically that even though they were not on board with his attempt to steal the 2020 election, the whole judiciary is transformed so profoundly that they all of a sudden would be
it's
willing
more
to go
dangerous
along.
now because he has a more sycophantic staff and he's learned from the lessons.
I take your point there. I don't disagree that the danger is technically higher, but still, at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through those courts, and the courts are not going to sign off on this.
But some are today, and I'm showing you that they are. And
that will get appealed, and that will be expedited, and it would be resolved immediately.
Really? Not resolved right now? How long has it been? Let's see.
What's not resolved right now? What election are taking place? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the seizing of the election machine.
Dan,
what?
Them taking the Georgia election machines is like, I agree with you. Super alarming, really bad. It has no bearing.
It's illegal in every way possible. The federal government came in there.
Maybe I grant you this.
The federal government came in with no way to do this. beyond the statute of limitations.
Okay, let me just.
And they basically dick slapped the state and took the fucking records.
Great, but that is not.
And you're like, they won't do that again.
No, Dan, this is something. These voting machines would be in the context of a current election that is like taking place.
No, but
for them, whatever fuckery they did, and I'll.
That's the thing. That's the thing that you're missing. They're not waiting. They're not waiting for the election to happen. They're going to start doing a lot of this shit really kind of shadily right now in ways that they're doing it right now, and that's what Dan is trying to get across to Hutch. Is it's not you're waiting for the election to come up to push back on any stuff that they have coming forward. They're not waiting in the same way for you. They're gonna do the the stuff that they can get away with now regardless. So
just grant you what they did. Maybe it was illegal. Maybe I don't know how they got a warrant signed. It does sound crazy. There's a lot of people asking questions about this, but there's a difference between that, which is really, really bad, I grant you, and preemptively or I guess DOJ showing up to a polling station and then seizing all these machines in the middle of something that's happening right now.
I'm not saying, no, see, this is not fair because I'm not saying that they're going to do that. I'm using it as an example to say that they don't care what the laws are right now. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, if they really do try what you're suggesting,
because you're falling back too much on the courts won't allow it, and I'm saying, yeah, they will. Look, listen, and you're well, that doesn't matter.
If they really do try what you're suggesting, then we are beyond a constitutional crisis. But I think they will ultimately lose that fight. He does not have the kind of spot. He would get cooed by the fucking military.
Hang on, what did come? At some point we need to do fucking Canadian news. But at what point? Okay, what was it? Machines, was it Michigan? Okay, which Minnesota. Soda voting machines. What's going on with that? News. It's not even fucking news. Well, the county is still reeling on Wednesday from the killing of 2 Americans by federal immigration officers in Minneapolis, though the Trump administration undertook one of the most blatantly authoritarian actions yet, deploying the FBI to seize ballots and voting records from the 2020 election in Fulton County, Georgia. Heavy blue area in metro Atlanta that has been in the epicenter of the president's conspiracy theories about the election he lost. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did, Trump vowed in Davos last week. Keep in mind, this is from January. End of January, so a little over a month ago. The raid was much more about the next election as the one 60 years ago. The capture of the ballots of Lawbird and counting key swings exactly with the Trump contemplation. He tried to overturn the 2020 election, federalizing the National Guard to seize voting machines, something he now says he regrets not doing, and such a chilling precedent for how this administration might interfere in the midterms. That's the thing, is it's just, just because they didn't, that's the other thing, just because they didn't do something before doesn't mean they weren't going to try it at some point or that they were comfortable doing it. Administration is now using Fulton County as a blueprint to see what they can get away with elsewhere, says Christy Nabers, the Georgia State Director of All Voting is Local, pro-democracy group. If they're allowed to take ballots here, then what would stop them from seizing ballots or voting machines in any future election in a county where the county where the preferred candidate lost? In the past week, the different tactics the administration used to interfere in the midterms have come to sharp focus. The Fulton County said the raid came just 2 days after the Attorney General Pam Bondi demanded that Minnesota hand over its full unredacted voter roll to the Department of Justice as a way of bringing the end to the chaos in Minnesota, when Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon denounced it as an apparent ransom to pay for our state's peace and security. On multiple fronts, the administration weaponizing the power of law enforcement, from the FBI to ICE to the DOJ, target blue states and counties and coerce them into taking actions that benefit the administration and punish those who don't comply. Quote, to make release of all the voter rolls to condition of ICE withdrawing from the state in Minnesota demonstrates that this is really about the power and control, unquote, Maine Secretary of State Sheena Bellows told me on Thursday. Quote, the federal government is trying to impose its will on the states. It signals that they've already indicated which it is that they want more control over the 2026 election, unquote. Bellows has experienced the administration's strong-arm tactics firsthand. Maine was the first states the DOJ sued to demand access to its full unredacted voter roll, which Bellows has strenuously refused to turn over. More recently, ICE launched a full-scale operation in the state last week, which led more than 200 arrests. Senator Susan Collins, R. Maine, has faced tough re-election this year, claimed on Thursday that ICE has ceased its enhanced operations in the state. A cynical view of why they've exited Maine is concerned that the backlash might topple Susan Collins and cost them a majority in the U.S. Senate, Bellows responded. She's described the ICE raids in the state as, quote, violent and chaotic, unquote, and said that she worried that ICE operations targeting blue states could depress voter turnout in November if people are afraid to leave their homes to go to work, to school, to get groceries, and definitely going to be afraid to leave their homes to vote, unquote, Bellows said. She noticed that Maine special election for the House of Representatives underway right now in Lewiston, which has a sizable Somali community that has been targeted by ICE, and has been urging people to be afraid to go to the polls to cast absentee ballots instead. Bellows sees the connection between the DOJ's demands for the state voter roll, ICE operations administered in Maine, and the seizure of Bolton. Oh, sees a connection between, yeah. So realistically, and that's the only news story I see, what has become of the voter rolls in Minnesota? It was 1 month. Man, there has been, and this is the other thing too, is like, if shit's not reported on, how the fuck are we supposed to know what it is that's going on? I mean, there's something from 2 weeks ago. 16 former lawyers from the DOJ, and that's from the Star Tribune. I don't know how much I trust them. I don't think I read them a whole lot. Oh, no, it's a 1 month, last year, 1 month. That's the other thing too, is like, yeah, if it's just not reported on, we're like, what has happened, right? Because that'd be another question, Hutch. What has happened with this voter roll stuff? Where is it? Where is it gone? Yeah, crazy. I don't know.
Own military, even after these purges, before
no, he wouldn't.
He would, before they would ever let him get along with something like that. They didn't literally. They didn't literally like get rid of every single possible general. Do you think the generals feel good about having to serve underneath fucking Pete Hegseth, by the way? Do you think they're fucking thrilled about that? That fucking clown? These people are like serious academics who've dedicated their entire careers to, fidelity to the Constitution and protecting the homeland.
They have an issue with it.
They feel good about
very loudly
serving under Pete fucking Hegseth. Like, I just don't think.
I think some of them absolutely don't, but I think that there's also been loyalists that have been moved around inside of the military.
Sure. I mean, I
think that if you're saying like, are they going to do it? Well, I don't know. We stole a fucking president, and now we're at war with Iran, and we just did that as if like.
It's a shame, isn't it? Telescope is about as old as I am. For years, it still produced fantastic results, but over time, many of the components started to jam, and the lenses themselves need resurfacing. Eventually, it was no longer accurate enough for our research. A dope ass fucking telescope, though. Why didn't you and William ever try to repair it? Sorry, that came out wrong. It's all right. Hey, bitch, why don't you get to work? We did get the process started, but ran into problems trying to source new lenses since it's an older design. Must have been over a year we spent trying to track down different suppliers, and then the lighthouse collapsed. We could no longer get parts shipped in, even if we found them. After running into setback after setback, we started to lose steam. I kept lamenting how difficult it was to get the telescope repaired. Instead of doing anything about it, I spent months depressed about how fair it was, like a fool. Wouldn't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault, and you were running into so many problems. That's just the issue, isn't it? I saw myself as helpless in the situation. Life happened to me. I couldn't do my research because of it. All these other issues. Morgan, I'm envious of your conviction. That's true, I do envy some people of their conviction. You're the one that got to work on the rocket, restarted. I miss having that perseverance about my work. Might not be my fault. I couldn't do my research, but it's my responsibility to find a way to continue. True. How do we get started then? Glad you asked. It took a lot of work, but William and I came up with a blueprint that we can use. Take a look. Yeah, glass lens, more work for me. With this blueprint, we can manufacture the lenses we need ourselves. When you're ready, you can add them directly to the telescope here. How many do you need of them? Like 600, 700 of them? This is one tricky part to manufacture new lenses. We'll need quartz. And the only place to find quartz around here is in the mines. I've heard it is not the safest place to be. Don't worry about me. I'm sure it won't be a problem. Yeah, we got Toasty. He's coming in to slaughter them. As confident as ever. Let's get to work then, shall we? Maybe we shall. How many? 50 glass lenses. Okay, well that was definitely less than thought it was going to be. What do we need to make? Oh, she said quartz. Quartz and what? Quartz and copper. Okay, that's not bad. 50 of them? We could do. We could do.
You know,
that.
fuck it. Let's YOLO. I think maybe the military just wants to fucking do military shit, and that's all they care about. They've been waiting their whole life to do a war, and now they get to do it.
If we get past the midterms and none of this fuckery plays out in the way that you think, and maybe he tries some things, maybe he doesn't, but we get past the midterms and the Democrats take back control of the Congress, are you gonna feel better?
Maybe.
If we take back Congress and the Senate.
Well, yeah.
I
mean, even if we just take back the House, even if we just take back the House.
My fear of what's going to happen if Democrats do take back, let's just say both the best case scenario, we take back the Senate and the House. My fear is that we will see a leftist bubble form up that will refuse to do anything for the Democrats unless they sign on to fucking insane shit, and nothing will happen the same. Is my fear.
Leftist bubble in Congress, you mean, or what do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So essentially, like, if Democrats have enough power to push something crazy, that they're going to start essentially demanding, like, you know, you want us to vote with you this way, then you have to also say that you have to include this in the bill as well, $40 minimum wage or something like that. I think that will happen, and that'll slow down progress a lot.
Well, that didn't happen in 2018, didn't happen in 2020, didn't happen in 2022. No, I didn't mean to hit you, Bubba. Now. I mean, it's possible. It's possible, but I mean,
on what's happened in the past. Neither can you. It's a new day.
Do you think that like the squad would stop the Democratic Party from holding this administration accountable if they didn't like push for $15 an hour? This is completely detached from reality, Dan.
Well, no, it could necessarily not be $15 an hour, but I think it's. I mean, the old adage is don't let a good crisis go to waste, right? And you never, once again, you truly never know people or what they're gonna do, right? The most people that you have you think you got all figured out could sometimes be the ones that fuck you the hardest. And I think I understand Dan's position that realistically you want to, while you're optimistic and you're like, yay, we won the Senate and the House, that's fucking dope. You also want to be, cautious and leery, moving forward, that there will be people, even in a Democratic majority, where they could potentially put off not doing things in favor of serving their own agenda. Not to say it's going to happen, but it is good to be aware of.
That is so outside the boundaries of like anything that is even possible. There's no indication that something like that would happen.
Because you're making it very broad. If it was as simple as that, but it's never as simple as that, right? So I'm saying like, I'm saying that when Democrats, if they get power and they're trying to do things, I think that you will see fringe points of it demanding things to go along with the party. Yeah, I do think that you will see that.
Sure. I mean, listen, the fringies are on the ropes, man. They're not doing great right now. The only hope they have in 2028 is AOC, and it's not even clear that she's going to run for president. So like, there's nothing right now. I suppose if I entertain your worst case possible scenario, then it's possible theoretically. There's no indication that anything like that is brewing right now. What Donald Trump has done for the Democratic Party, this is one silver lining of the Trump era, is he has ushered in an unprecedented era of cohesion. So even though there's these ideological differences,
has he though? Has he? Is there cohesion within the Democratic Party? I feel like not. And I feel like it's actually I think it would actually be even argued that, if anything, it seems, I mean, even Hutch has said it, that people are registering more as independents than ever before. Like, wouldn't that push against the idea that there's like this high level, holy shit, this high level of cohesiveness within the party? I don't know about that one, man.
In the party, they have been uniformly, like almost uniformly, for the most part, like opposed to the administration. You know, like they've worked together to get Biden's agenda passed. They worked together to hold Trump accountable during the first term and do impeachment stuff. And, you know, like there's just no sign of this happening. There's like no sign. Every time I try to inject some little bit of hopium in your veins, Dan, you hit me immediately with just like literally the worst case scenario. And
I'm hitting you with what's happening today. And you're like, well, that's not
no, hang on. But that is not happening today. Like, you know.
Well, again, the example of the seizing of the voting machine. There's no cause to do it. It's past the statute of limitation. Flat out illegal. But a state judge signed off on it. I need an explanation for how this happened.
I'm not privy to these details. I can't tell you like how he did that.
Meme answer is I'm not prepared at this time to answer that question.
Your Honor.
I am not prepared at this time to answer that question. I mean, literally, I don't know enough about that.
You don't know how a RBKM reactor explodes. I know. Yeah, that's I think the issue that we're at right now is you're like they're not gonna do wild shit, and I know they're gonna do wild shit, but I'm not smart enough to know the wild shit that they're gonna do. Is the problem?
They can try, but listen, I've just in the last 10 years I have seen
it's evil enough.
I have seen this president operate with an unprecedented level of corruption and criminality, and but I've also seen the system constrain him in very, very meaningful ways. There's I think this guy, if you gave him absolute power, he would fucking just like, there would be death camps. There would be fucking death camps in this country. I'm not even, he would arrest people for, you know, like having this conversation that you and I are having right now. It would be like V for Vendetta. The fucking door would get kicked down. Somebody would black bag us, throw us in a fucking car. You know, like I do think that he has his instincts and his ego are so big
that there's still some. Yes, I agree.
And the fact that that's not happening right now is a testament to like our system. Like our system is dirty and it is needy.
Don't know if you know how close you are to that.
I agree with you. That is not happening right now because too many people would be offended. But the problem is not enough people were offended when we were racially profiling people walking on the street and sending them to fucking El Salvador CCOT prison.
What do you mean? There's this level. We've never seen this many protests during a presidency. We've never seen this much voter engagement. You know, like, well, again,
he does as much as he can get away with each time. That's kind of
obviously
the issue. And people sign off on it, right? Initially, they sign off on it. People fly the planes. People at the airport give them clearance to take off. People at the jail hand over it to the guy. What I'm saying,
I understand. And then Mahmoud Khalil ends up on a plane back in the United States. So like, you know,
but the damage is done. What I'm saying is that,
but we can't do anything about that, Dan.
That's where we disagree. That's where we disagree. You do things by having the proletariat not go along with the king's orders.
Wait, are you a leftist?
You do that. No.
Okay, I'm just all right.
Not at all.
Look, if you can find a way to get, you know, like, obviously you're friends with Steven. He has a massive platform, much, much bigger than mine. You know, it's not just up to politicians. It's not just up to politicians. You don't need politicians to stir up a movement of, you know, patriotic civilians that would, you know, like take to the streets and use various methods to pressure politicians to do these things. Like you guys can start doing that right now without politicians, you know, trying to get the public to be more engaged and more informed.
That's an unfair answer. I'm telling you, I'm witnessing the crazy stuff and we're acknowledging it happening around us. And like, well, why aren't you at the soup kitchen? Well, maybe this is the most good that I can do right now is talking with you about it as opposed to going out there and handing out soup to people. No, I understand that logic, but I understand. Right. But like, you know, these guys are very smart. They're very sneaky. They're very fucking crafty. Evil. And I don't think that we can count on countering something we don't know that's coming. They have a plan, I'm sure.
Got to read their key.
Very smart people that are willing to bend or break or completely forego laws and rules are coming up with plans to win the midterms.
There's a ocean rising in this country, and they can't stop it. They might try. They might try, but they can't stop it.
They will try.
They will try.
My concern is the only way to slow it down or to prevent it from happening is to make them feel that the guy that's going to put the ammo in the boxes that's going to get sent to the other country is scared to do it because it's illegal. That's like a War Dogs reference here. But essentially, it needs loyalty. People, what was this from? It was something where essentially people watched a lot of crimes happening because people saw the crimes happening and no one else did anything. And that's it. And I think that the
I see, like, when I look at the country, Dan, I see an electorate that is engaged at a level that is truly unprecedented in the modern era, like heading into midterms. I see, like, voter turnout is, like, jacked to the fucking tits. I see an electorate that is, like, voicing their disgust and protesting more than any other administration ever in the fucking history of the republic.
Which is why it's going to be so sad when Trump rolls out fucking Order 66 and a bunch of like senators get fucking sent into space or something by accident. And whoops, well, sorry, we got to redo these ones.
I mean, we have
like, that'll
like,
be really sad when that happens.
Dan, we have like I think it's like 6 months or 7 or 8 months. 8 months until these midterms, okay? And so there's not really a lot of time.
I don't know. I feel like they're gonna loop. I'll probably listen to the rest of this one on my own time. I'm gonna do some Canadian shit. Do some Canadian news. Let's see. Will my feed? What's this? Question period.
Safety reasons, we cannot provide any further detail to that effect. I would like to be clear. Canada was not consulted, did not participate, and has no intention to participate in offensive strikes against Iran. Period.
Based, yes. Here.
Blame the world for the fact that families are struggling more than ever to make ends meet.
Yep.
But it's actually this government's policies here at home that are driving up the cost of food.
Oh, is it?
Canada has the highest food inflation rate out of the G7. And a big factor in this is the hidden carbon tax, also known as the clean fuel standard. It's making life...
No offense, Alberta got rid of it, and our still cost of food is fucking outrageous. Highest food costs, Canada. Highest food costs, Canada, by province. British Columbia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. See, like New Brunswick and shit still have 3.7%. Oh, but Alberta beef, that Alberta privilege, where our beef strip loin is the most expensive in BC and Alberta. Oh, yikes. Note, food prices are volatile, heavily influenced by transportation, fuel, and supply chain logistics, causing significant regional variations. But like we don't even, this is from January. And we don't even, new numbers for Statistics Canada show the year-over-year change in food prices saw a national increase of 3.4% across the 10 provinces and 3 territories. Now, we would assume from what she just said, right, that the carbon tax is driving it up. We would assume Alberta, not having a carbon tax, would be significantly lower than all the other provinces. Let's see if that's true. I find it hard to believe, says the back. I've noticed a steady increase. Oh, the Nova Scotia was the lowest at 2.7. Still, 2.7, 2% is a lot. Dalhousie University professors, food distribution, yeah, who cares? Dropping gas prices provided a level of financial support from remote areas like Nova Scotia. I would say energy has not been an issue in the last 2 years. Who added, according to the, I just want to know, hang on. Because you can't really, according to Japan, the biggest challenge to regions like Atlantic Canada going forward in interprovincial trade barriers has been a direct impact to the cost of transporting food, because you can't really scale up some of these businesses that you have here, and you can't really think of going to Quebec or Ontario to get food provincially licensed facilities. Statistics Canada also showed grapes, berries, coffee, and ground beef are increasing in cost monthly in all provinces, which makes shopper Mike feel skeptical when it comes to receiving good news related to inflation. Can you believe anything these days? He said, quote unquote. He anticipates food prices to climb even higher and will continue to carefully shop, search for the best prices. So Alberta is 6th. It is on the lower end of it, but I want to check. Does Manitoba have carbon tax? So like, so Manitoba has the federal income tax or the federal carbon tax in place, and their food inflation was less than Alberta that doesn't. So just saying, like, I understand, I'm sure it probably contributes a little bit to it, but I'm not sure in the way that this woman is trying to say. How can we work? Okay. I want to change
more expensive because it's driving up the cost of fuel for trucks and farmers and fishermen. And so when will the Liberals take responsibility for their own actions here at home and take off these taxes that are punitive for Canadians?
Mr. Speaker, it seems like the members opposite from the Conservative Party have a big interest in the clean fuel standards. So let me talk to them and to their constituents about the opportunities that are created by this. Because canola farmers in Alberta will actually see an increase in the value of their product. They will actually see an increase in their farm revenue. We actually see the Imperial Diesel renewable diesel facility that's going to use up or require 50% of the canola that's produced in Alberta. This is an opportunity for farmers in her riding and all of the rest of her caucus members. We stand up for Alberta farmers.
Here, here. Yeah, you sit back on your throne.
Out of touch with the people in Western Canada, and I would dare say all Canadians would like them to believe that there's a benefit to this tax, that there's a benefit to driving up the cost of groceries and forcing seniors have to choose between groceries and their medication, or having families choose between are they going to...
Better question, because I'm sorry, the carbon tax just isn't doing that to you. Why are you as an old person having to choose that shit? Why can't we just supply for people? You really think, because I can guarantee you, old people weren't doing it before.
To give their daughter formula, or are they going to cut back on the essential amount? These are the types of tough decisions that our Canadians are making. And the minister says that
I don't believe half of that is from the carbon tax. I just don't. I don't believe that most of that's from
this is an opportunity for them. An opportunity. When will this government listen to Canadians, see Canadians for what they're saying and the challenges that they're facing, and do something about it?
I mean, no offense, your party's had more people left because they don't think Pierre is,
it is not us who is out of touch
with you fucking get him. You get in there, you get him.
Liberal government that is delivering on the promise of a memorandum of understanding with the province of Alberta. It is this government that is making markets and creating revenues and increasing the incomes of canola farmers across Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Mr. Speaker, the question is for the opposition, when will they get behind this Western Canadian agenda?
The honourable member for
fucking
Mr. Willenbury.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians watching know this government always has an excuse ready. But they can't keep passing the buck when we have the highest food inflation and the worst economic growth in the G7.
I actually want to... I shouldn't do it. Hang on. Let's check. Actually, excuse you, sir. Excuse you, motherfucker. Fact check time. Actually, Germany right now is facing the worst economic growth among all G7 nations. So, fucking behalf of all the Canadian people, sir, suck it. Okay? Fucking get out of here fucking spreading your lies. Okay? While we are leading with maybe high food inflation, it's actually UK that is consistently projected to face the highest overall inflation rate of the G7, so... Now, we are expected to have the lowest GDP per capita growth, but it seems like Germany overall will have the weakest economic growth. Yeah, and a lot of G7 nations, like, once again, like, we can look to the US, but I would say I think a lot of their issues are going to be coming down the pipeline here sooner rather than later.
Backward liberal policies imposed domestically, like the industrial carbon tax and the fuel standard tax, are harming our economy and making life more expensive.
Are they? I think it's your mega people to the south there that's causing them to road, dude.
Will the Liberals scrap these self-inflicted taxes they are forcing on Canadians?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Speaker, enough excuses, enough rhetoric from that side of the House. This is a government that is supporting Canadians right across the country. We have delivered on the groceries benefit, which in my riding is going to help over 30,000 of my constituents. I expect it's similar in that member's riding as well, Mr. Speaker. That benefit is going to help deliver close to $1,900 this year for a family of 4. It's the kind of part of our plan that is making an actual difference in the lives of Canadians. So when are these Conservatives going to get on board and back us up?
The honourable member for Tecumseh, Gwillimbury.
Well, Mr. Speaker, how can Canada stand on its own 2 feet in the world if the Liberals keep cutting our legs out from under us? Amid global instability, the government should be doing...
Bro, why the fuck are we watching Twitch politics drama? These guys are going fucking ham. These guys are going ham. You hear that hooting and hollering? Goddamn. Sounds like a goddamn Twitch debate panel in there. That's crazy. What fools we were for watching Twitch stuff.
Everything again to make life more affordable right here at home. But Liberal taxes are leaving Canadians more exposed to global shocks, conflicts, and decisions by foreign governments.
How the fuck would How the fuck would a local tax do that, my friend? Please explain your... Well, I mean, this is... it's just as fucking vapid as a Twitch panel. What the fuck?
Excuses and scrap these taxes.
The Honourable Secretary. The Honourable and Honourable.
I know the member is a man of good spirit and good heart. Let me help him with his talking points, Mr. Speaker. Canada has the second fastest growth in the G7, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Speaker, we have one of the lowest deficit to GDP, Mr. Speaker. He should rejoice about the place of Canada in the world, Mr. Speaker. We have the most educated workforce. We have strong industry.
I like that one guy.
Wow. Minerals. We have energy. We have trade agreement. We have everything, Mr. Speaker, to lead in the world of the 21st century. We believe in Canada and this.
Here.
For Souris Moose Mountain.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberals like
Sorry,
to
you say for
everyone
Moose
else
Mountain?
for
That's fucking amazing.
But it's their own policies here at home that are driving them up. Canada now has the highest food inflation in the G7. Instead of helping, Liberals are now adding new fuel costs, which will rise from 7 to 17 cents a litre. For every new tax, that increases planting, harvesting, and transporting food. Farmers cannot absorb it, and consumers cannot afford it. Please, Mr. Prime Minister, flip-flop again, scrap these costly policies, and finally show some mercy to the hard-working Canadian families and the farmers who feed them.
Conservative side of the house looking a little empty over there, a little empty.
Before the member starts, I just want to remember, the member for Kelowna, and just a reminder that we address the chair. We're not addressing any member of this house directly, and I'll just remind the member of that too. So the Honourable Secretary of State for Rural Development.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. More good news, as my colleague likes to say. The headlines in the newspapers in Saskatchewan grain terminal seeing increase in canola sales, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, I like that. Oh.
Saskatchewan is building, Mr. Speaker. Why is Saskatchewan building? Because Canada works. That was a message we heard from the Conservative opposition for the last 10 years. I'm here to say, Saskatchewan, we love you, and everything that we do.
Oh, that's a little strong. Saskatchewan would love you. Yikes. But also here.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That answer shows just how out of touch these Liberals are. That member represents a riding from Saskatchewan, which is the breadbasket of Canada and the world. Yet there has been 27 confirmed cases of scurvy in that member's riding.
Fucking got him. Shit, somebody wasn't eating their vitamin C, and this motherfucker, he honed it. How how do you even... What are you reading that gave you that piece of information? One, that's fucking hilarious. Honest to God, that was like, yeah, well, your people have fucking scurvy, you loser. Fucking Saskatchewanies not eating their goddamn oranges.
There are people who are coming over in wooden ships across the Atlantic in the 1600s. Unfortunately, this is just another day in Liberal Canada. When will this government be morally or ethically serious and stop these crazy policies that are driving up food inflation in Canada?
Honest to God, that's good.
Mr. Speaker, I've been trying to speak with our Premier, Scott Moe, in Saskatchewan, but I can't get a hold of him. He's too busy signing deal after deal with their Prime Minister. Which means benefit after benefit after benefit for the Saskatchewan people. And any day of the week, Mr. Speaker, I will compare our Prime Minister and our government's ability, credibility, and capability versus a phantom plan designed by an anonymous economist and led by someone that never worked in the private sector before, Mr. Speaker.
Slaying, holy shit. I mean, this just goes to show, like, the Conservative Party really in Canada is quite weak. You have a leader that lost, right? And then what did he do when he lost? Did he take a step back, think about what he'd done, you know, reassess, oh shit, am I really working, and what kind of the capacity that people want, is that kind of where I'm going to? No, he just went, fuck it, doubled down and ran in somebody else's district. Hey, that's fucking funny as fuck. To the tune of, like, that guy had to step down so that the Conservative Party member could rerun, because he was such a fucking loser that not only did he lose the federal election, he lost his seat in that election, to the point where if they were here, he couldn't join in. He didn't have a seat he literally did not have a fucking seat at the table. So it's just really funny that, you know, the Conservatives of Canada want to you know, placate, or, you know, almost like play house of this idea that they're fucking strong, and they're not.
The Honourable Member for Chicoutimi.
You gross French. Ugh.
Mr. Speaker, the rising cost of living is hitting constituents, Quebecers and Canadians hard.
Yeah, but nobody cares about that.
On continue à parler de dernier échange.
This is still the last exchange.
Oui, on va se calmer. L'honorable.
Yes.
Oh. Oui, peut-être. On va...
We potatoes?
We might have to extend question period.
Yeah, extend.
The Honourable Member for Chicoutimi-Le-Fjord. Mr. Speaker, the rising cost of living is hitting my constituents, Quebecers and Canadians hard. We have the worst food inflation in the G7. Despite this, the Liberals are determined to make life even more difficult by increasing the fuel tax, which is already rising from 7 to 17 cents per litre. This,
I will say, probably not the best time to do it. Although my guess is this has been something that's in the works, and it's probably been something that's been, you know, already worked into the legislation that it was. Personally, totally get it. We do need to start cracking down on how much, because let's face it, it's crazy to me that you can just dump any amount of pollution into the environment. Everybody's just like, yeah, fucking is what it is, I guess. Yeah, fucking, I don't know. Who cares? Like, just pollution. So, I mean, to some degree, there should be probably some kind of cost on it to at least incentivize people to limit the amount of pollution that they're putting into the environment. I don't have a problem with that. And unfortunately, like it or not, the best way to incentivize people not to do something is to charge them money for it. So take that as it might be as well. Oh, it's just really slow at pumping them out, but we'll need more crystals here soon. So... I mean, if anybody has a better idea on how to get people to care about not just dumping into the environment willy-nilly, everybody's all fucking ears, because if you had that solution, everybody would jump on board. It'd be a fucking sweet solution, because realistic at the end of the day, we probably don't want to tax people for the carbon, but it'd be nice if there was a different way to incentivize them. But unfortunately, in the modern 21st century, the only way to incentivize people, fucking charge them money. It's the only way. It seems to be the only way.
Leads to higher prices for our farmers. When will the government put an end, once and for all, to these taxes that are a burden on Canadian families?
Question B, has there been any... Hang on. Pause this so it doesn't pass out. Have there been any for farmers? Oops, Canada. Okay, yes, as of early 2026, the Canadian government has introduced a new and expanded financial support for farmers, including $639 million injected via the 2025 budget for agro-stability enhancement and an additional $300 million for the on-farm climate action fund. Key updates include doubling the ag stability payments payment limit to $6 million and raising the course compensation rate to 90%. Let's just read right from the website. Agro-stability is one of the business risk management programs of the Sustainable Canada Agricultural Partnerships CAP. Is what it's called. Agro-stability protects Canadian producers against large declines in farming income for reasons such as production loss, increased cost, and market conditions. Agro-stability is a margin-based program designed to help producers manage large income declines. Each year you must enroll in the program, you pay your fee, and submit your form by application deadlines. You may receive a payment if production margins in the current year fall below historical reference margins by more than 30%. Agro-stability covers 80% of the loss for every dollar below that threshold. Below your historical reference. Oh, okay. So if costs go up too much. So let's say you're operating at like 31%. It seems like if all of a sudden the costs go up and now you're at 29%, it seems like there's going to be a fund that comes in and covers 80% of that loss that you've experienced up until it makes it up to the 30%. So in other words, if there is something, if the carbon tax does increase that cost, like there is something there that you can take advantage of. But another thing I'd be curious too is maybe there's farmers using really old fucking equipment because they don't want to, maybe they don't want to upgrade. And that old equipment is less fuel efficient than new stuff is. I mean, they have like biodiesel, renewable diesel support. I mean, there's compensation for supply managed things. Like, it's not like, that's the other frustrating thing. It's not like the money's just taken in and nothing's done with it. Like, there's still stuff that's done with it.
The Honourable Minister, thank you very much.
It's just
Mr.
really easy
Speaker,
to rile
with
people
all
up with
the
taxes.
respect I have for my colleagues, I'm sad to hear him rise here in the House, whereas when he had all these opportunities to defend his constituents, to fight for affordability, the cost of living, their buying power, he always failed to sign on.
Oh, get him.
Benefit, the groceries benefit, he didn't sign on for that. The increase in the child benefit, a tax cut for the middle class, Mr. Speaker, and not just that.
That is always super frustrating. That when, conservatives will cry, gripe, do whatever you want to call it about the cost of living and the affordability of things, but then you're like, okay, do you want to give Canadians this payment instead or increase this thing? And it's like, well, no. And it's like, okay, well, do you want to build this thing so it makes it cheaper for Canadians? Well, no. It's like, okay, well, shit, do you want to do this thing? It'll make it better for Canadians? And no. And it's like, okay, so you don't actually want to build anything. All you want to do is just take something away because it'll make you feel like you've done something. Like, if you aren't actually willing to fucking build anything, shut the fuck up.
The Saguenay work that's been done that's good for his economy and the economy in Quebec. The Honourable Member for Abitibi-Témiscamingue, Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Public Accounts Committee unanimously voted, that includes my Liberal colleagues, a motion calling for an inquiry on the failures of Phoenix, Arrive Camp, and Curam. The National Assembly of Quebec also unanimously called for an inquiry. What happens at the federal level is taxpayer money that ends up going into these useless IT systems. Billions of dollars could have been better invested
I didn't even know how to do the translation
elsewhere.
stuff.
When will there be an independent public inquiry?
Speaker, let me be perfectly clear with that member. The government tabled a response at the Public Accounts Committee in January. There was over 50 pages of documentation on the progress of the Benefit Delivery Modernization Program that are publicly available and can be found online. So what he has asked for has already been conducted. But Mr. Speaker, just this morning, he also participated in a technical briefing with the department where he learned that the benefits system is providing services to over 7 million Canadians, is on track, and so far the expenditure is under budget.
Ooh, so not only was he a part of things, he's trying to make it seem like he wasn't a part of things. Ooh, what a sneaky little snake. Fucking gross.
The honourable member for Shefford. Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Prime Minister was telling us that we hadn't taken part in a briefing session on Curam. Well, that briefing session was actually happening today and we attended. Conclusion, Curam is still causing problems. Tens of thousands of seniors are still today without their old age security benefits. Bills keep coming in. The problems caused by Curam remain the same, and thousands of people are...
Curam. Oh. Wait, is this fucking in French? Oh my god.
On poursuit avec Alain Reyes et
Oh my god, it's all in French. Can we get some fucking English in here? Oh my god. Curam in fucking English. Wow, what do you know? It didn't produce any results that were anything worthwhile. Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, je suis in French. Because it's fucking from Quebec. Why can't we report to the English in English? No, they need to learn our fucking language. Oh, this stupid Canadians. Fucking English.
Pour l'état de votre demande, de l'information concernant vos paiements, appuyez sur le 2.
Depuis des mois, c'est un rituel presque quotidien pour Martial Lavoie. Il tente de savoir à quel moment il pourra finalement toucher sa prestation de la...
We're just not gonna get anything. That's fine. That's cool. I like that. That's fun. Did really nobody else? Nobody else reported this at all. Except for French stuff? I just refuse to believe that. What?
Les gens développent des modèles qui soient
Motherfucker. Quebec, you know what? We always talk about Alberta seceding. Or that's what we've been talking about. You know what, Quebec? No, this is... No, because that's going to be in fucking French too. You absolute fucking dick.
Member for Calgary Midnapore.
The government told Canadians their new benefits software program would cost $1.75 billion and that it would not be launched without conditions of success being met. Estimates have the actual cost at almost 3 times as much.
Okay, hang on. We're going to continue listening to that. I'm sure. Tab. Literally nothing. Okay, I have absolutely no idea. We're gonna listen to this.
Member for Calgary Midnapore.
The government told Canadians their new benefit software program would cost $1.75 billion and that it would not be launched without conditions of success being met. Estimates have the actual cost at almost 3 times as much, $6.6 billion. And reports confirm that the government's own service standards are not being met. In fact, last month there was a backlog of 85,000 new benefit applications. These are Canadians who need these benefits for basic essentials
They're
like
Canadians?
food and shelter. Can the minister explain to seniors who are forced to pay the price of yet another failed Liberal program why it is way over budget?
The Honourable Minister for Jobs and Families.
And this poor guy's up, down, up, down, up, down, getting their squats in.
With the difference between an estimate and an expenditure. An estimate is what things might cost. In fact, we're way under the estimate as it stands, and we've just started, Mr. Speaker. We have transformed a
Bro, who's all shouting and hollering? Tell him to shut the fuck up for a second.
very old system, 60 years old, something I would point out
Yeah.
the Conservatives let decay under their 10 years of government.
snap.
We took action early on in 2017 to modernize a system, Mr. Speaker, that Canadians depend on day in and day out. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the caseload of backlogs are going down. We have dedicated staff working day and night. And finally, Mr. Speaker,
The Honourable Member
Whoa,
for
stand up there, buddy.
Midnapore.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Minister should do her research. She should be well aware that the Auditor
snap.
General confirmed in 2023 and 2025 that program costs had increased significantly and would continue to rise. A review by the Treasury Board in 2022 came to the same conclusion. And her own department had to push back the OAS migration 3 times. In fact, 3 years ago, her bureaucrats admitted the costs had already doubled for the new program, even though no benefits had yet moved to the new system.
God,
Can
I
the
feel like
minister
it would
explain
be. I feel like it'd be crazy costly to do a lot of these, to do a lot of this shit. Okay, so I can only do one car. How do I get more cars? Oh god, thankfully I thought I was close to ending this fucking
to
game.
seniors
Good.
who are forced to pay the price, why yet another failed Liberal program is way over budget?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if 7.7 million migrations to a new system is a failure and 85,000 cases comparatively with missing information on paper applications.
That's not bad, honestly. Especially if you're transfer. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Could you imagine the amount of fucking headache transferring 60-year-old fucking documents and shit? Because if you build a new system, you're not gonna want to toss out even the stuff that maybe it's closed. You're still gonna want records of that shit. Can you imagine dealing with paperwork from even, let's say, 30 years ago? Oh fuck, the amount of time. I remember when my doctor's office switched over to from paper filings to computer shit, and I remember going to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Oh, how long have you been pipe tobacco free?" I never smoked pipe tobacco in my life. And he goes, "Oh, well, shit, I have it here on my records that you've been smoking pipe tobacco for like 3-4 years." Like, I'm 17. You think I've been smoking pipe tobacco since I was 14? Like, and it's just never once. Like, it was funny that he even had to ask that question. And, you know, instead of being like, "Oh shit, this probably isn't, I probably don't have somebody sitting in front of me that it was smoking pipe tobacco at 14. Like, that's really funny. I mean, also, what the fuck? You think I'm fucking smoking pipe tobacco at 14?
Is considered a failure. I'm not sure how they're doing accounting. Quite frankly, Mr. Speaker, Canadians expect modernization of legacy systems that serve them every day in and day out. We will not tolerate the risk of aging systems failing and creating a disaster for seniors. That's why.
That is one really hard thing, and she brings up a good point. When you are the poor sap that has to fix the ailing system, and you are left with the unfortunate task of being that person to do that work when shit goes sideways. Even if you did it to the best of your ability, you're still the poor motherfucker that's going to take the hit for that. It's just always the case. You can go up around that way. Stuff. Okay, good. It's always going to be the case. Even if you could have done everything to the best of your ability, because there's still going to be mistakes. There's always mistakes. But the opposition will always find a way to slice you down. Always, 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 always.
We're taking action, and we are seeing success.
The honourable member for Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek.
The current software has cost Canadians $5 billion more than what was originally budgeted. To add insult to injury, hundreds of seniors have been delayed from receiving their benefits. An overdue update to an outdated technology has turned into a nightmare for Canadians with...
Well, the question would be, why the fuck didn't you update it when you guys were in power? Why wasn't Harper updating this shit? Right? Very clearly and very simply, he didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want to deal with all the fucking blowback from dealing with a system that's all fucking old and shitty and, you know, having, you know, it takes fucking... Look how much shit they're getting for dealing with it. So it's not surprising to me. At least somebody did. You know, somebody's got to do the shitty work. Somebody's got to do it.
Thousands of cases backlogged. Why is it that Liberal programs always massively exceed their projected costs? And why are seniors forced to pay the price for their incompetence and yet another failed federal
I would be shocked
system?
if most conservative projects also came in under budget.
Mr. Speaker, our government is taking action on a critical software program. It is a program that was stalled in 1966. Let's wrap our heads around that for a moment.
1966, jeez.
Many of the members on the other side hadn't been born yet. That is what they are suggesting the government move forward with. A system that the Auditor General flagged as a high risk for failure. We need to modernize our systems. This system has already brought 7.7 million seniors on board. More will come.
The honourable member for Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek.
The Liberals continue to deny that there are any cost overruns for Curum, and even though
$50,000
the
to
Auditor
open this,
General
because it'd be nice
herself
to either move these fucking things out or actually move these things out to the very far corner.
I'll ask the same question, and I'd like
this
a
sucker
serious
needs to
answer
get
from the
closed off to
minister.
people to bring
Why
stuff
can't
in
the
this way
Liberals
and
stay
over
on
there.
budget? And why are our seniors being forced to pay the price for yet another Liberal failure?
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Mr. Speaker, it would be nice to have a serious question, one rooted in facts, one rooted in numbers.
Here.
$1.5 billion has been spent. I don't know where their numbers are coming from. La La Land, perhaps.
Their ass.
But let's stay in reality here, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
This benefit system is modernizing something from 1966.
Wow.
7.7 million seniors are better serviced today. We are modernizing it,
Also, I have a
bringing it
feeling,
online.
I have a feeling
things
my
that conservatives
copper stuff
don't
is going to
give
get
a
pushed to the other side when I
about.
open up. Ooh, fucking Slade, got him. Fucking Queen.
The honourable member for King Vaughan.
Mr. Speaker, the system meant to help our seniors becomes another expensive disaster. This government continues to hire incompetent consultants that massively overrun their budgets by $5 billion. The president of the public service...
So a little thing about Canada that most people might not know, because, you know, it's Canada and nobody gives a fuck, which I understand. A lot of time, well, actually all the time, the opposition has the ability to table legislation. They can bring forward legislation that they think could pass. They're not reclused from doing so. I'm pretty sure that's most governments in general. You know, your opposition can propose legislation as well. Question B, okay, you think the Liberal plan is so out of budget or out of whack? Propose your own, but that won't happen because that's not what these people do. Because then what if they take it? What if they take it from us? Well, then I guess they steal the idea from you. Should Tough Titties argue that it was your fucking idea to your constituents or something? But yeah, it's just kind of silly. But anyway, I've been streaming for 4 hours. I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna go have a shower because I've been sitting in my own filth here. Okay, and just glistening. So if you like the stream, hit that like, subscribe button. And if you didn't, go pound sand. Peace.